Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome everyone live on this Saturday morning. It is, what is it? It's the last Saturday in October 29th, 2022. Apologies for the slightly late start. It's gotten a little more difficult in a weird way to go from Zoom onto Facebook. It's time I have to re-log into Facebook, even though I'm already logged into
They
Facebook.
want to make sure that nobody's taking over your account.
Oh, yeah, whatever they're doing, or Elon Musk is checking every. Well, he's Twitter
he
now.
on Facebook?
No, he's Twitter. He's a Twitter guy, but
Facebook is now called Meta.
yeah.
Meta.
And I never met a Facebook I didn't like, but I
think this is a B because it sounds like a B. Listen.
Oh, Ziz, okay. That's beautiful. That, by the way, speaking of beautiful, is my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who helps me out on this program. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and have been doing Dave's Gone By now for 20 full and complete years, plus now another 2-3 weeks, because back on October 6th, we celebrated our 20th anniversary on the show, and now we have a brand new live episode. Here it is. We're calling it, well, we're always calling it Dave's Gone By. It's our 869th episode of the program, and it's called Turn, Turn, Turn. Because we do everything here. Do everything. Turn, turn, turn.
No, because it's your guest. Tell them who your guest is.
Yeah, I don't know how many of these.
Is it Tina Turner?
It's not Tina Turner. No, and it's not Memo from Turner, so it's not Mick Jagger, and it's not Turner and Hooch. I'm thinking Hooch. Hooch would have been...
Isn't Hooch the puppy?
Yes, Hooch was the dog in Turner and Hooch. But no, this is actually really cool. I honestly wasn't sure how many, if any, episodes of Dave's Gone By I would be doing between now and, say, middle of December, just because I am overloaded. I'm teaching, I'm just got so much. There's sleeping, and then there's grading, and then there's planning and shopping, and that's my life, right? For the next couple of weeks. But I just really don't have time to do this program. And yet, I do this program. And I'm like, well, if it's a special...
There's more.
But wait, there's more. Well, if there's a special reason, a special occasion, a special guest reason to do a Dave's Gone By, I'll make the time and do it. I'll carve out this piece of... I haven't written anything new in weeks. For 3 years, my wife and I would take about a half hour a day. Literally, we would carve out 1/2 hour of every day to sit there and...
Pomodoro.
Right.
And now, so Helen Sword was never on Twitter, and now she's on the Twitter.
Yeah, she's trying to
She tweets a lot of good stuff. Yeah, she puts pictures of the little timers, like the penguin timer. She put a picture of that.
Yeah. Well, what Joyce is talking about is there's this academic writer, named Helen Sword, and she came up with this series of YouTube videos that are basically just telling everyone...
They use the Pomodoro method, which is common.
Is it? Yeah, I never heard of it until you showed that. Yeah. Pomodoro means you take... It's tomato is a Pomodoro, but she has a timer that is shaped like a tomato, and she sets it not for an hour, not for 3 hours, well, not Stephen King. She sets it for 25 minutes, and then you write uninterrupted for 25 minutes. And then you can go on if you want to, but generally it makes great sense if you're a busy person to stop. But you have to do it every day, day after day. Days when you're feeling incredibly inspired, days when you're just sitting there like a lox. But if you do this, I am telling you, I wrote so much. I wrote plays, finished things I was working on 10 years ago. Started writing this other thing, fiction.
We can do it
plays.
over the break for you. We can start
over the break, of course.
Yeah.
But it's the one thing, I miss it terribly because we moved.
We could still do it.
I don't have the time and mental energy.
Even if it's 20, you'd be surprised.
Oh.
You'd be surprised, yeah.
Maybe we'll try. Maybe we will.
If you want, we could do it outside, on the porch,
nice.
on the deck, on
That'd
the porch.
That'd be nice, yeah. And she's right. I should do it. I can do it. It's just like if I've got 25 minutes, it's like either I want to just be lying there with my eyes closed or finishing 20 papers that just came in that need grading, or planning, putting up PowerPoints.
You have to, honestly, if you don't feed yourself, you won't be happy.
Well, that's the only thing that makes me happy is food. Oh, you feed me. Oh, I ate some good food this week.
Yeah, the brisket.
I got brisket sandwich and, well, you also
Slice
procured
steak.
for me.
Yeah, which were allowed. They said
Yeah.
bring it back from school.
Right.
There was just an event where they had over fooded, and
Right.
they had like like a wedding where they have like
Well, it's more than hors d'oeuvres. This is more than critic.
no, it's like a wedding where they have the tables. Like you walk down the table and they have sandwiches, they have salad, they have like a noodle dish, they have all different chicken, they have
a wild boar on a
no,
spit.
like chicken, I guess turkey or fish. They have, I don't think they have fish. Meat, they have vegetarian, vegan, then they have brownies, then they had like
Chocolate
water.
covered eels.
No, but they said take extra, so I could. And the other one was called like Steel Mill or something. Or
no, there was a restaurant called the Stone Mill, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And Joyce was there and passed it by and said, "Oh, I'll get Dave some food because he's a foodie." And she did. And she got me this wonderful brisket sandwich. And a cookies that are gourmet.
Caramel, pumpkin, and that's like French chocolate.
Yeah, if this were on the Great British Baking Program, that would win
both. Handshake, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a handshake from Paul Hollywood.
Yes.
It absolutely would. But how would you? So a lot of ways a good week, but a busy week, and busy as so many weeks are.
You wanted to talk about
the guest.
Yeah, but also your thing about like the gender of crabs. If anybody knows about it, right? That was
well, we'll get there. We'll get there. But let me introduce to you. Still active after all these years. But as I was saying, I wasn't gonna do an episode every week or even every 2 weeks, just until the semester is over. Just because I would rather have my Saturday mornings, not rather, but I'd rather be grading or getting things ready for next week than take 3 hours. And the planning for this and the writing of the questions for the quiz and all of it, it's more than just sit down for 2.5, 3 hours and do a show. And then once the show's over, I've got to, load it up and I've got to get the timings on it. It's a lot of time and work. Not all of it mental energy, but certainly this is draining. And for you more than me, actually. But if there's a special reason to do an episode, so like 2.5 weeks ago, it was our 20th anniversary on October 6th. So we went on the air back of Dave's Gone By. And we went on the air with our 867th show, basically to tell people, hey, literally 20 years ago, as of this minute, I went on the air on terrestrial radio, sitting there, 11 p.m. on a Sunday night out on Long Island.
On the dial.
And then here it was 20 years later, sitting in front of this computer on Facebook going, still here, still doing Dave's Gone By.
Over 20 years, technology, of course, has changed, right? So.
Yeah, right. But the idea of a human, a voice communicating, even though that now there's a video component, it's still a radio show. It's still me talking to you, making jokes, having guests, doing all that. So I had no real desire in the middle of a semester when I just picked up 2 more courses in mid-semester to suddenly, I got to do a show on Thursday night at 11. I was like, just throw me in front of a streetcar, please. But we did because it was I had to, right? So I don't have to do a show this week or next week or whatever. But there's an actress who is coming to Kingsborough Community College because they have a beautiful stage there, a great venue that a lot of touring things come to. And this actress is an A-list Hollywood person. We don't really get that much. We get A-list Broadway people, and I'm thrilled and honored when we've had quite a few of them on Dave's Gone By. If you like
just had the 2 guys.
Hal Linden and Bernie Capel, right? A-list TV people. Okay. The late people, Carol Channing, Charles Grodin.
Who's the one with All in the Family?
Did we ever have an All in the Family person?
I'm thinking of.
I don't think we did.
You had so many people
from
theater.
Theater, absolutely. TV.
Who was the guy who won? You talked to him the next day and won a Tony.
Well, that was Andre DeShields.
I mean, come on,
A-list Broadway.
Who
person.
I think your show encouraged the Tony.
Once
absolutely. He did that, it gave him the Tony.
Ruben Santiago Hudson picked up some awards.
A lot of people, right? right?
Yeah, you come on this show.
I can't remember them all, but you've had so many people.
Our guest today is going to win the Nobel Prize because...
No, you can't win the Nobel. They're already out. Sorry.
Well, next year.
She could win a humanitarian prize.
She could. And considering her activism, she actually might.
Best human.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so we've had a lot of Broadway people, and if you like my kind of music, major American singers and songwriters, maybe not the big rock and rollers, but very much A-list in the folk music world. You know, Peter Yarrow from Peter, and Mary, and Melanie, and...
We had a lot of singers, comedians,
Tom
actors.
Paxton. Yeah.
Who was the one who had the cabaret show? People really love her.
And
the funniest thing, you have to post in that Monkeys board. A lot of the people like that Monkeys group, you know,
well, we had
the Torque. They
2
call
times
it Torque
Peter Torque was
yeah.
on the show before he passed.
Oh, they love like they cite you in there all the time in their chat, in their Facebook.
We had great conversations.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the great sadnesses now for me is that we've had for about 18 years all these marvelous guests, and it was only radio.
What about the man who passed?
Which one?
The one who just died with a southern accent.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing. Every week we're losing friends of the Daverhood, so we lost Leslie Jordan.
Yeah, thank you.
The actor from, was it Murphy Brown? He was him, and he did
was
a
the character actor in like probably Will and Grace, Murphy Brown, like so many shows. Yeah.
I knew him from theater. He had a couple of one-man shows, and he wrote Southern Baptist. He was in a car crash.
Oh, you told me how awful.
And Leslie Jordan, was on this show back in 2017.
Yeah.
If you look at our website, if you look at the Facebook page we posted, you can go listen. And it just makes me sad when these people pass. And now I realize I could have been doing video, 20 years ago. This could have been a video program. But it was a radio
show when you began.
I know.
So radio by its definition doesn't have video.
I know. But now that they're gone, and I feel, it's MP3. I can hear them.
You still can hear them.
Yeah. But I kind of like that over the past 2-3 years, where it's like, there they are. They're talking. There's a human being. Yeah.
There's still a big thing on Twitter where people are still just vlogging or blogging. They're still doing audio blogs.
Right.
So, because think about it, honestly, like if you're in your car or if you're working, let's say you're working on something, but you want to listen to something, you can't watch your screen and also watch it. So I think there's a utility to
just audio.
On video, on Zoom, you can do both. You can have just audio only, and you can have
you can always walk away from a television set and hear it.
Yeah.
You can leave music on, you can hear it. But I get it. There's an intimacy to audio and to a conversation.
Yes, exactly.
That you kind of lose because now you're conscious of the camera, and now you're and it is different. And sometimes I prefer it, and sometimes I don't. And when I think of we interviewed Leslie Jordan, I would love the idea of Leslie Jordan and Rabbi Saul Solomon visually side by side, tumbling with each other. But you can hear the audio.
But George Clinton was so funny. He's the way that he interacted. I thought he was just awesome.
Yes, George of P-Funk. He was on the show.
He was just tremendous. He was so real. But he was like, Rabbi. It was very funny to see that. Two people who were very extreme livers, very vibrant people. That was very interesting.
Although he wasn't running the mothership. I mean, he looked like a normal human being.
But he still had some, but his energy is still that eclectic kind of.
Oh yeah.
So the energy of him is still there, but to see that was very funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And wonderful with Clea Blackhurst, who is a very energetic person. But anyway, we're just building up and building up and building up. Why is the show today called Turn, Turn, Turn? Why am I even doing a show on this October 29th, 2022 of Dave's Gone By? And the answer is because we do have an A-list Hollywood actress, and she actually said yes. She not only said yes to being on this program, but she said yes to being interviewed by Rabbi Saul Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. So in about 40 minutes or so, Rabbi Saul will be talking to the star of such movies as Peggy Sue Got Married, Pritzi's Honor, Serial Mom, War of the Roses.
Oh, she has such a unique voice.
Yes.
So you can definitely, when you hear her voice, you'll know.
Did you know that she was the voice, I've forgotten this, of Jessica Rabbit in Who Framed Roger
When
Rabbit.
you said it, I remembered it.
Yeah, and came to the fore in the film, the noir film that made her name, Body Heat. We're going to be talking to the hot Kathleen Turner. She will be, and now that I've given her that big build-up, I'll probably get a message. I'm checking email constantly. It's like, is this really going to happen? Is this really going to happen? Because Kathleen Turner is going to be at the Kingsborough. She's been touring this show that she's been developing.
Kingsborough is Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's in the Oxford neighborhood of Brooklyn.
Well, if you think about it, Queens is Queens, but people don't realize that Kings refers to Brooklyn. So I wish I could see it. I think monologues or one-person reflections of life are so huge.
Well,
I'd love to see her reflections, like behind-the-scenes kind of stuff of what happened and just her life. That must be awesome.
Well, she's been doing this show for a few years, developing it in cabaret, and then taking around the country. Yes.
Oh.
And with that voice, you can imagine she's probably...
That's going to go over really big.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a monologue.
No, I think she intersperses it, like the story of her life, her Hollywood career, the self-imposed and not so self-imposed derailment of her Hollywood years. It's a show called Finding My Voice, and she's doing it on stage at Kingsborough. It's one night only. It's not like she's doing a 3-week whatever. She takes it. She goes to a city and does it.
One night? Is she going other places?
Why is she? I assume this is a big, 1,000, 2,000 seat hall.
Yeah, but still, why only once? I mean.
Well, because she doesn't want to do it off Broadway. She lives probably out in California. She'll fly in. She'll do. Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know where she lives, but she'll do it and then go do it in Atlanta in a big symphony hall rather than.
So just go place to place. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, and it's happening not tonight, but next Saturday. Next Saturday night on stage at Kingsborough. Get your tickets at onstageatkingsborough BOROUGH.org. But we'll talk more about. We're assuming we'll be talking more, or Rabbi Saul will be talking more with Kathleen Turner about her new autobiographical and musical
now that's a pair.
Solo show. Yeah, she did have a nice pair, but Rabbi Saul is
that's a combo of people. That's unusual. Yeah.
So it could be another Mandy Patinkin situation.
It could be like wine and cheese, or it could be like oil and vinegar.
Yeah, basically. Well, actually, both of those.
No, I think that she
chalk and cheese. Yeah.
I think she seems like people who've gone through a lot in life are just really tolerant, put together people.
We hope.
Because you get your stuff together. You're like, I'm together. I'm sure she's wonderful.
We'll find out. God willing, we will find out.
She can talk about her show, because think about it. That's like super. So.
Yeah.
I wish her luck. Good for her.
Well, great for her. I mean, it's not as if she stopped acting 30 years ago.
No, I know, but I think it's hard to reveal yourself. Like, if you write a book, it's pretty easy. You can get a ghostwriter. You could write it yourself. You could say stuff. People read it. But when you're telling your story in front of people, and you're looking at people and you're telling them like the deep stuff you've done, that's like, that's tough.
And it's absolutely, Gabriel Byrne is doing it on Broadway as we speak. He's doing a thing about his life. Yes. You reach a certain stage when you've lived enough and you're famous enough and people are interested enough that, you can, and you do, not all the warts, but some of the warts,
I'm going to make tea, David, in a bit if you want tea.
Yeah, I'll take a hot tea.
Okay,
or, don't get me a hot tea. Get Rabbi Saul a hot tea.
Okay.
Get him a hot borscht, if you could.
So can I go now, or do you want me to stay a little bit? You tell me when to go.
Well, you know what? Why don't we... Well, we have so much to talk about, and we want to do Greeley crimes at all times, but we haven't really talked about anything
Talk about your crabs.
Yes. Someone, did we even talk about this?
No.
Someone explain this to me.
It's on my list. You told me to tell you, and I'm telling you.
So, we live now, Joyce and I live in northern Maryland. Okay? We both have jobs teaching, and we bought a house, where we're trying to cobble together a brand new life, living 200 miles from New York, and just, in this nice suburban area that is known for seafood. On some basic level, like, the harbor, inner harbor, all of that. And so I love seafood. Joyce is allergic to it and won't eat it anyway, but she's a vegetarian. But, okay, so Maryland, of all things, Maine is known for lobster. I'm assuming, where would be known for steak? Omaha, Nebraska, steaks, right? But
like
here...
Wisconsin cheese. Yeah.
Exactly. Here... it's known for crabs. And of course, come to Maryland, get crabs.
Well, you're wearing your seafood shirt.
See, there you go. So, I've never been a huge fan of crab or crab meat. So I can tell. I'd rather have lobster, rather have shrimp.
You'd rather have butter with lobster.
I'd rather have butter with anything. But okay, so we're in crab area, stone shell crabs. I went to this. Oh my God, I probably told you this. Maybe I didn't tell you this story. There's this like hole in the wall restaurant, fish restaurant, owned by this old black couple, who right in the heart of
you told
where
story,
we live.
yeah.
I did tell it on there, and it was like I'm waiting. So they make it sound so good. And so we don't mess around with anything. It's just basically we put for the crab that they have. They put the crab there, and it's like, oh, how much is it? Like $35. I'm like, I think I'll have something else, So, but I really, having lived here now for almost 3 months.
You had crab
once or twice I've had, yeah.
You had a crab quiche.
Yeah, which is not the same as just having, a soft shell stone.
Probably better because it mixes in with other things
Right, exactly. Yeah, and my late uncle Lester used to love crab. That was like one of his favorite things.
One of the first things your aunt said was, "Oh, there's a good seafood restaurant in Cockeysville," which we still don't know. There's so many. I wish, I think she has friends there. You have to text her and ask her because she said she has friends who know where the good restaurant is, but we should,
Absolutely. I mean, again, these are places that Joyce really won't find much to eat in, but every once in a while, we'll find a good place, since Maryland is known for these things, to have, don't mess with it, don't devil it, don't egg it up, just give me like a nice, properly seasoned, cooked crabby. This is my coffee, and that was my iced tea for there. Thank you. But And when we go driving, there's lots of different places that still will say, they'll have these posters and these billboards, and they'll say, okay, get your crabs here. We'll give you crabs. They're not even cute about it. Sometimes they'll have a cute drawing of a crab, and it's I guess they sell delicious crabs here. Crabs here. Fine. Every once in a while, I will stop in and I'm saying, let me try your crab. Let's see how you are compared to this person who said they have the best. But there's one place that we pass about 2-3 miles from here, where we're living, and their signage, their poster is, we've got male crabs. Male crabs. Aside from being gendered in a time when everybody's trying to be non-gender specific and open to all genders, there's this thing of, A, male crabs taste better than female crabs? Fine, if that, okay. Because think about it, in a lot of different species, if you're a bird watcher, if you look at birds and you see like a male cardinal and a female cardinal, you can tell pretty instantly. There's like the one with the more vibrant red. The visual really looks like a cardinal, like this red thing zipping by, bright crimson red. It's the male. And the female is much less visible, probably for her protection. It's still red, but it's a much more dusky, faded color. And a lot of time, I think it's the same with peacocks and things like that. The male is going to be more overtly beautiful and more saturated and vibrant in its colors than the female will, because males have to attract the female and they got to stand out and whatever, or that's the way God or whatever is up there made them. Right? So there is a difference between males and females. So one might think, maybe there is a taste difference between hens and rooster. We don't really think of cooking roosters much, but we have chicken and hen all the time. Can there be? Is there a difference between male crabs and female crabs? And this led me to thinking also, what underpaid immigrant, probably undocumented kitchen worker has to be there with a bucket and a trough full of crabs, turning them over and looking. It's where do you even look? Male, Male. Whoa, definitely male. Huh, lucky fellow. Female. I don't know. Who? How? Who sits there all day making sure that they take all the male crabs and send them to this restaurant, and then the female crabs either go back in the water or they go to a lower priced restaurant? Yeah. How do you even tell them that? They all smell like fish, so it's not like humans. But who, and then I looked it up, and apparently it's essentially a myth. Somebody at some point came up with the idea that, the male crabs are the tastier ones. They got the better flesh, they're moister. It's all, a crab is
like a wives' tale?
Yeah, essentially, a crab is a crab is a crab is a crab. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 100 years ago or something, before you had, not interbreeding or before they started monkeying with everything in the ocean and everything that lives and hormones and GMO and God knows, maybe now they figured out a way that male crabs and female are indistinguishable in so far as taste, whereas if you got someone from New England back in 1750, they go, that male crab, it's like the male scallop. Oh, yeah, taste that male scallop. Oh, it's so good. A female scallop. Oh, it's like a pencil eraser that hasn't even been invented yet. I don't know. I certainly don't know how to do a New England accent. But what I do know is that we're half an hour into the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream, featuring me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce. Coming up, Rabbi Sol Solomon the Great. Find out more about him at shalomdammit.com. And Rabbi Sol will be chatting with Kathleen Turner. We also have other stuff to do on the program. We will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, because before moving to Maryland or back to New York for a while, we lived in Colorado for a bunch of years. And I got it into my head to write a poem every week, or have a poem ready every week about a different place in Colorado, different town, big city, tiny little hamlety burg. And this week we're going to Gateway, Colorado, for a short 5-line limerick poem about Gateway, Colorado. Also, speaking of Colorado, Greeley crimes and old times. Feels like it's been a long time since we've done that. It's only been like 3 weeks, but
if you want your
my tea,
very hot though. It's extremely hot.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'll work on my coffee still.
I'm gonna put it over here. Look, I'm moving it towards you, honey. So you can have it.
Actually, that's for Rabbi Sol, not for me. So.
Okay, but still, you can tell them where it is.
Yeah, I don't want my lips on the cup where Rabbi Sol, because I eat unkosher food.
There's
and Rabbi
cold
Sol,
water if you want to stick it in there too.
Rabbi Sol's lips burn when he touches the cup.
I saw him eating crabs the other day at the crab shack.
Yeah, who was the lucky girl? Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, he was there chowing down.
But anyway, what else can we talk about before we talk about? I did. You should be more proud of me than you are, because I this week of my own volition went to the supermarket, was poking through, buying usual groceries and things, looking for meat and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw in the discount pile, which is my favorite place in the world.
Was that Safeway?
The Safeway discount pile of meat that nobody wants to eat.
It just means that it's going to turn bad, and they want to sell it, short sale it before it goes bad.
But it's before it goes bad. It's still perfectly good, except it's 30% or 50% off.
That's crazy.
What it normally costs. It's fantastic. I had filet mignon 2 weeks. It was great. Oh my God! But
where'd you get the lamb? Was that there?
I think I got the lamb there too. It was just a good price. I don't know if it was on sale. Might have been. But I also grabbed burger patties. And knowingly grabbed these burger patties that were 30% off, and it said "Impossible Burgers." What is impossible about them? Did they not form a particular shape? And they were absolutely plant-based burgers. And I thought, what the hell? We've come so far in the advancement of science and food science and food physics, or whatever the hell they do, that a vegetarian alterna meat now is probably not what it was even 20 years ago. At this point, they figured out flavoring. They figured out, this kind of. And I was like, what the hell? What it's going to be one cruddy meal if it goes badly, and then I won't do it again. I'll stick with hamburger patties because I'm an omnivore. I'll eat everything. So I fire up the George Foreman grill. Probably should have oiled it a little bit first. But I throw on these.
It's non-stick. It's non-stick.
Well, things stick. It's just fairly easy to clean, but it's a pain in the ass. And I open these patties and I sprinkle them with a bit of onion powder and
Use your seasoner,
yeah. And then I throw the patties down, not really expecting much of anything. Okay, because they're impossible burgers. I'm guessing they're going to be almost impossible to eat.
Oh.
So I put them down and I close the thing. I'm wondering, okay, what's it going to be? What that? And then I flip them and already they're kind of sticking to the grill. I'm like, oh great, I should have oiled them or something. Flip them over, and they cook. And they cook pretty quickly. I don't know how the hell there's no blood, there's no juice, some kind of, I don't know what runs out of an Impossible Burger, sap. Runs on the kitchen counter. How do you tell, really, except for the time,
I don't know.
if a plant burger's cooked?
I don't know how they did it.
It's never red to begin with. It's vaguely red when you first get it. And it doesn't really char. Maybe if I left it on the grill a bit longer, it doesn't really get that top thing that you get on a burger.
Oh, really?
And then where it really gets dark brown and you get the sear marks in it. But I don't want to overcook it, so I scoop the thing off, throw it onto a bun, and a challah bun. Rabbi Saul will be very proud of this. A little bit of onion. I even put tomato on it. I just put some ketchup on it. And said, okay, let's try this. And tried it even without the other crap. I for the first bite, I wanted to know how this really tasted, and I was kind of in shock. The consistency was really close, and this wasn't a thing where you're making excuses like you go to a friend's house, for a vegan meal, and you go, oh, it's really this tofu really is kind of like chicken tandoori, and you're in your head you're like if I make a wild guesstimate. If it's on the same planet somewhere as chicken tandoori, and I'll be nice, the spice, definitely the spice is the same. I'm gonna choose almost, sort of like chicken. Real good. I would eat this again. I'll eat this again 5 years later when you invite me again to your house, right? This was different. This was like I would literally invite people and do a taste thing. And give them all burgers, and say, here, and enjoy, yummy, got these burgers at Safeway, whatever. And I would wonder if anybody would really, really know if it was not a hamburger.
I would not know, but I wouldn't want to eat it. If I ate it, I would think it's meat.
Well, but why? Well, and the sodium was not terrible. That was the weird thing. I assumed, and the thing that you always kind of figure with vegan meals that are trying to approximate the taste of meat meals is that they're just loaded with salt. So it's covering up the lack of other flavorings. It's covering up the basic idea that this is not meat. You're eating, ivy or something that they've crushed into a meat sort of patty. But I think the sodium was about 370 per burger, instead of something like 600 or 700 if you get a frozen dinner. So it was not insane in terms of the sodium. And it tasted, I took a chunk of burger, and I was like, I'm going to eat this without bun. I'm not going to cover it up. I mean, it didn't have seasoning on it, but I'm just going to chew this and see what this, and they figured out what meat is supposed to taste like when it's cooked, at least in burger form. I don't know if they can do it with...
I don't know. A lot of people eat them and use them. I never understood why vegetarians would want to eat food that approximates meat. That makes no sense to me.
Because some people would miss the flavor, the chew, the whatever of meat. I don't know if we're ready, if I would try a steak, if you will.
I don't think
make
they
a
have
mushroom.
A steak,
No, you used to like sausage.
Well, we went to Canada in the was it Victoria Island or one of the and they had the world famous vegan restaurant. It was delicious. They had hamburgers. They were just made of nuts, and it was so delicious.
Yeah, well, I mean, we used to eat Dr. Prager's frozen patty burger, and they were fine. They were tasty, but they weren't hamburgers.
No,
You made the mental adjustment.
They were never hamburgers. They were always like potato pancakes or something. They never.
Or lentil things, yeah, but it was sort of to give people that other option. It's like, yeah, you can't get a hamburger, but you can chew this, and this is perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bean burgers were good.
As opposed to something where you would chew into it and you'd be like, wow, it's like a hamburger. It's a different mindset.
I wouldn't want it.
Yeah. I would.
Why eat, if you don't eat meat, why eat meat?
But if you do eat meat and you want to cut back on eating meat.
Also, if you want a sustainable planet where you're not farming. So the whole idea between these impossible foods is that it's easier to create that hamburger than to create a field where you have 10,000 animals and stuff, and you're doing it. So the space and the ding to the planet, I think, is less. I think that's part of
course. But that was always part of the thing of the vegetarian reason, and doing tofu instead. So you're not chaining 500 cows in a 1 acre or quarter acre thing, all feeding them until they can't stand up, and what they do with chicken.
Yeah.
So if yes, it was always that sustainability angle, but it makes a difference, and you can tell people, you really won't matter. And again, I don't know with steak, I don't know with other kinds of dishes.
I think one of the fast food restaurants was trying it. I don't know. I haven't eaten fast food in 10 years. I don't know how long. But the idea was they were trying it too. I think one of the fast food restaurants.
God bless them. But probably they had, 900 milligrams of salt in a patty.
Maybe, yeah.
And not to mention, I mean, we don't even know. What was it, Taco Bell meat? Taco Bell meat apparently isn't meat to begin with, and it's supposed to be meat.
What is it?
Additive. Hamburger helper. Taco helper. Or something. Like shaved hoof.
Oh, don't say that.
I don't even know. Please, Taco Bell, don't sue me. I'm just reporting on the story from weeks ago. They get away with this concoction that is very tasty, but is just allowed to be called meat by the FDA.
That's like Stud's Turkle.
It's kind of like my penis. It's just long enough to be called meat by a girl. Just barely. It was 1 centimeter smaller.
I thought the only person who did the self-deprecating humor was, who?
Me? Rabbi Sal?
Yeah.
Well, Rabbi Sal and I share, we've known each other for so long that our humor does kind of go in the same direction. And the same erection, if you think about it. I'll talk about Halloween later in the show. Maybe let's do, for about 15 minutes, let's do Greeley Crimes and Old Times. And then we'll get our guest into the Daverhood.
I'm cleaning my mail, but I'm listening. You know that.
All right. Well, Greeley Crimes and Old Times is a segment that is based on an article, or actually 2 articles that are in the Greeley Tribune newspaper. Now, this is a real, actual newspaper out in Greeley, Colorado, where Joyce and I used to live. And here's the headline. This is not a joke. This is not like The Onion. This is a real, even though this may be the greatest front page of a newspaper ever. And I do show this all the time. Yeah. But mostly it's a real, actual, fun, local newspaper with real news. Some national news, mostly related to northern Colorado. But there's also a sense of humor at the paper, and there are 2 columns that they do every single week. One is called Cop Log, and these are there's public domain, the public information. People call the local police department in Greeley and Evans, and not so much Fort Collins, but sort of that Greeley area, the catchment area, if you will, and complain about something that's going on in the neighborhood. They would say, hey, and they get the police dispatch on the phone. And the dispatch, of course, has to make note of, have a log of all the phone calls that come in to the police department, and including the ones that you listen to them on the phone, and it's like, and you're calling the police, why?
Well, there's some reason that they call the police. It's just not a reason that we would
figure,
there was that time the psychotic squirrel was, I guess, attacking or is sitting in someone's lawn.
See, there I would have called the National Guard.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing. It's like, oh my God, there's a crazy-looking squirrel.
I think the National Guard is for domestic disasters. I don't think the National Guard handles squirrels who are attacking.
Have you ever seen a squirrel tear through a garbage can? Oh my God.
Yes, but I don't believe that's a natural disaster.
Argue with the owner of that garbage can. But,
I guess so.
So, phone calls that come into the cops, or Our friend of the Daverhood, and I think Mike Peters still does this,
God bless him.
goes through the newspapers from 100 years ago, from 1922, and plucks out things that to modern eyes are either cute or nostalgic or funny or ridiculous or just what was in the paper, these little items or these news items that were stories in the paper back in 1922. Well, we mix both of those kinds of stories up, and we do a segment pretty much every week here called Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Yeah. I had such a backlog of these because we haven't done it in a couple of weeks, and it's great that the Tribune, sometimes they go on vacation with these stories, and we don't get them for weeks. This time we were busy with other things, so it's great that I've got this enormous backlog of crimes and old times. So let's get it started with a brand new crime. These are things that actually, these phone calls a week or two or three ago came to the Greeley Police Department. For example, a caller from a toasted subs shop on 8th Avenue.
Wait, I gotta find my...
Yeah, I gotta find the caller. Ooh, the caller noise. There we go. Oh, we gotta get new noisemakers. A caller from a toasted sub shop on 8th Avenue said a man forced himself into the restaurant and locked himself in the bathroom.
Uh-oh, wait a second. This one I have. Wait, I think I have a good one.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one. See, the only thing, the weird part is that this is from a toasted sub shop. If this were like in a Mexican restaurant, people would do that for their own safety.
The toasted sub shop is a shop that makes fun of all of their sandwiches are named for cannabis. So,
right.
You know, and I'll tell you, like, I went there once or twice with a colleague. It's across from the business school to get a sandwich. And it took them 20 minutes, and I ordered a vegetarian sandwich with cheese, and they asked me if I wanted vegetables and cheese.
Yeah.
So it took like 20 minutes. I'm like, I would like vegetables and cheese in the vegetable and cheese sandwich on one of your rolls. And they're like, vegetables? And they're like, and then in the end he's like, do you want cheese? I'm like,
yeah. No, but you know what? The kids weren't even stoned. They were just UNC students.
No, they were a bit. I could tell from the. I look at
when
I speak to people, it's very sad, but I look at pupil dilation for like pain meds or like being out of conscious, you know, their altered states. So I look always at the clarity of the. But yeah, they were not.
They were not.
And then I looked at my colleague who's like goes there all the time, and he's like, yeah.
Well, why the hell does he go there all the time?
Because
I mean, the
he
food
likes
was
the
good.
Food, and it's across from his office, you know.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Oh my God, honey. Please get your noise. We have an alert.
Oh no.
Guess where we're going. It is the Bermuda Triangle of Greeley, Colorado.
Oh wait. I'm gonna do it this way.
This is exciting right now. Yes, that's the noise. That's what we need. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an eighth alert. This is a call that came to the police department from 8th Avenue and 8th Street, the nexus in Greeley, Colorado, downtown Greeley.
It's Infinity.
Yeah, and it's 1 block from the Toasted Sub Shop.
There you go.
No, that's on 16th. Actually, no, that's on 16th. 8th and 8th is
well, there might be
down.
another one. We don't know. It might be different Toasted Sub.
Middle of the afternoon, a caller from 8th Street.
Oh, boy. Middle of the afternoon. You know it's going to be good.
And 8th Avenue. Reported a woman was screaming at people and throwing rocks and other items out of her bag.
We used to have a screaming woman. Where is it? Hold on. I don't know if it still works. Let's see.
Oh. She has emphysema now. Isn't it sad? But there's our 8th, and you know, it's appropriate for 8th. A woman was screaming and throwing rocks. And not just throwing rocks, but she had like rocks in her bag ready to throw.
She's prepared.
Yeah.
She's
not just looking around for rocks.
She's prepared. She came prepared.
She woke up in the morning, she had her cup of coffee. It's like, I know I'm going to go downtown and scream.
I need to bring my rock
throw
bag.
something.
I enjoy it. God bless her.
I need to throw my rock bag. That's great.
I love it. She's prepared.
A caller in Greeley.
Which is the call? Here we go.
A caller.
Wait, sorry.
Oh, there it is. In Greeley said, haha, a naked woman was trying to break into the house.
Whoa.
They wanted to know where the closest church was to give thanks. So, oh my God! All of these are dying.
Yeah, it's just this one there. Some of them.
Yeah.
See?
That's a shame. All right, a caller on 47th Avenue reported a vehicle with a baby car seat in the front seat.
You can't have the baby.
I get that, but I think they mean the passenger side of the seat.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
maybe the baby was driving.
Yeah. What if the baby seat is? It just makes me think of like, there's the steering wheel. Here's the baby seat. If you're putting a little baby Finster in,
yeah, but maybe it's one of those driverless, the electric cars. You don't need a driver.
That's right.
So maybe it was just taking the baby to daycare.
Yeah, that could be.
I believe that's what happened.
Elon Musk will invent it in about 5 more years.
Buggy, like you just, the little car comes to your house. It's like check in the kid, and then the kid goes off to daycare, and then you go on with your day.
But you would still put the kid in the back seat. Or the trunk.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that.
Or under the wheel well if you don't like the child.
I mean, I told you that. So when I worked as a health educator, this is, 30 years ago, I don't know, a long time ago, for a hospital, we worked with young mothers, and we had a baby doll, and we used to show him to diaper and to, take care of the baby and hold the baby. And his name was Juan Carlos. So Marie was my supervisor. Marie was like the most wonderful human in the world. Like you couldn't ask for a better human. So we're out getting coffee, and we're sitting in a coffee place, and Marie goes, "Oh my God, we left Juan Carlos at the site. Like, did we leave Juan Carlos at the site?" And I said, "No, Marie. Remember, we put Juan Carlos in the trunk."
Oh, and people are listening to this.
Yes, and so I'm like, Marie, I think we put Juan Carlos in the trunk, and she's like, "Oh, thank God, because I thought we left him at the site. Did you close the trunk?
Did you close the trunk on the baby?"
Yes, we're having this whole conversation. She's like, "I don't remember locking the trunk. Is he in the trunk?" And people are looking at us like we're like a Cruella de Vil, like ready to call Child Protective Services. And Marie and I are, and then we realize like people are looking at us, like listening. And then Marie looks at them and says, "Marie Carlos is a toy, it's a doll. Juan Carlos is a doll that we used to show young mothers how to diaper and hold babies and put them in car seats, and he's a toy." But everybody was like...
Because everybody used to see those ABC after-school specials with the women, like the girls in the class, and make believe they were carrying this and then take care for it. Yeah. But
we were just concerned because he was expensive, because he was a baby that, it was very realistic. So it wasn't like a $2 toy. And so... she became concerned, and so we were talking. Juan Carlos was also the joke because it was the King of Spain.
Right,
so we had this running joke, and it was hysterical. And people thought, like, here's these two women sitting having coffee. Well, they've locked their baby in their trunk.
It's excellent.
And then, of course, all the young ladies never let us live that down for the whole rest of the thing. They're like, "Did you put Juan Carlos in the trunk?" I'm like, "No, Juan Carlos is here with us. He's a doll. He's not a real baby."
That is excellent and fantastic. My gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a bit more of Greeley Crabs and Old Times, and of course we're waiting for our guest. Checking my email repeatedly to see
if we're on. You have your phone? Where's your phone?
Right here.
I'll check it, honey.
Yeah. But we still have more Greeley Crabs. Let's do a couple of old times. You can also check your
email on your phone so you don't disrupt.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, you don't disrupt your stuff here.
So here we go. Let's do an old-timey thing. This is a story from the newspaper from
here's your phone. Here's your
1922.
Okay, sorry.
From what was then called the Greeley Tribune-Republican. 1922 story.
Yeah.
So we think children are miserable today, huh? 130 boys and girls participated in the dandelion contest this year.
This is not good.
They were assigned lawns which they had to keep clear of dandelions all summer.
Oh, this is like free labor, right? They're cleaning your lawn, yeah.
Wendell Kuhn, his name, Wendell Kuhn won the contest for the cleanest lawn, right?
Yeah, but how do they know it's not all summer? It could have just been the one time, right?
Well, I imagine the adjudicators checked every 2-3 weeks, and plus the owners of the lawns. So lucky when he in the heat, in the summer, no air conditioner. No.
A goat? He wins a goat?
Wendell Kuhn won a new suit from the Greeley Dry Goods Company.
Ooh.
No, a child is busting his ass all summer.
But David, think about it. Years ago, clothing was handmade.
I know.
And it's very hard to get clothing, so that's probably really...
No, it was nice, but children, give the kid some candy or something. A gift certificate at the local soda fountain shop to get an ice cream, And he's like, how'd you like to be going like every, granted, well, and also lawns back then, every house is probably on a full half acre.
Or an acre, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're going through a lawn plucking dandelions...
It's probably good exercise, keeps the kid out of trouble, right?
Yes. What trouble would kids getting in there?
Keeps him away from 8th and 8th. Keeps him out of there. He could have been on 8th and 8th throwing a bag of rocks, so...
You're right.
He did good.
A disturbance at the local credit union brought a charge against a Greeley man. This is truly a disturbance at the credit union. He is accused of shoving another man's head through a stained glass window.
Oh my God.
The man wasn't badly injured.
Wait.
I guess God was there.
Wait.
What? He shoved a man's head.
In a credit union?
Yeah, through a stained glass window.
Why would a credit union have a stained glass window? Maybe an old building, yeah. Do you think it was our old credit union? They were lovely. I hope it was.
They were great. But this is 1922.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe the credit union was in a bank building.
They need a guard. You need that's horrible. He could have
absolutely.
killed the guy.
Yeah.
That's isn't that like murder? If you put someone's head through a window,
it could be murder if the guy. Yeah. Yes, of course it's assault. But luckily, I guess they made stained glass probably is like plate,
yeah,
so it doesn't.
But it's I remember as a child, because when I grew up, we spent a lot of time in church. In Catholic school. The stained glass is thick. It's not like thin glass. It's thick. To get somebody through stained glass, you have to really
bash them through. But maybe it doesn't shatter.
I know, but still, the force of hitting that would just.
Yeah, no, I would not want to have someone put my head through a stained glass window. Gesundheit. I'm sneezing too. Hold
on. Sorry, David.
Yeah, no problem. I'm schnartzing myself.
I'm sorry, no, it's just.
And if you've ever schnartzed yourself, you know how delightful that can be.
See if this is okay for your friend.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Gesundheit.
I'll go in the other room.
We're waiting. We're hoping. We are expecting a visit from a very special guest in the Daverhood. We will see if that's happening. I'm hoping it is. Until then, let's do one more piece of business. Gesundheit again.
I'm sorry.
So gesund. Can you pick up a noise or two or three? Or I've got to find the noise on here, because guess what? Guess what it's time for? What? We actually have another alert. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Fort Lupton alert. Gesundheit. I need to play this properly. This is the next story is going to be from Fort Lupton, Colorado. Therefore, it is a Lupton alert.
Lupton. Alert.
The Parent Teachers Association of Fort Lupton High School will have an Americanization class at the school this week.
Nice.
It will help foreign students to become more American. Yeah, which is.
I do like the Americanization. Is that a word?
Yeah. Remember, there was even a movie called The Americanization of Emily. I think Emily was just British. Anyway, you have been watching Dave's Gone By and listening to Greeley Crimes in Old Time.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Greeley was no fool, and I'm probably a fool for doing this program, but wouldn't you know, we have a special guest in the Daverhood who's going to be talking to Rabbi Saul Solomon momentarily. So let's bring in to the Daverhood the one, the only, the Jewish, Rabbi Saul Solomon. Shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am delighted and thrilled and excited to be talking to a wonderful A-list Hollywood actress who is with us in the Daverhood today. You can recognize her already because you know her from Pritzi's Honor, and you know her from Peggy Sue Got Married and Romancing the Stone, and she was even the voice of Jessica Rabbit. All these incredible movies. She's also a theater person. She was on stage on Broadway in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I'm afraid of everything. I'm Jewish. So yes, I'm afraid of Virginia Woolf. She's also doing her memoir, autobiographical show at Kingsborough, on stage at Kingsborough in Brooklyn, New York. This is happening next Shabbos, next Saturday, November 5th. You're going to want to get tickets at onstage at kingborough.org. Won't you please welcome the creator of Finding My Voice, one of the great voices in Hollywood, Kathleen Turner. Shalom, Kathleen. How are you?
Shalom, Dave. I'm fine.
I'm actually, Dave is the producer of the program. I'm Rabbi Sol.
I say again?
My name is Rabbi Sol Solomon. You can call me Sol.
Oh, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon.
Oh, you're
Sol, good morning.
Good morning to you. You can call me Rabbi or Monsignor, whatever floats your boat. But
okay.
It's a delight to see you. Are you at home, or are you already backstage somewhere where you're doing a show today?
No, I'm home. I got in last night from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, Mazel, and let me ask you about this Finding My Voice, because you've been doing this for a few years, developing it in cabarets and going across the country. Did you start this almost like a decade ago, or for how long did it develop? Did it germinate?
Oh, at least 5 years ago, I think. I was doing a play down at Arena Stage in Washington, D.C. I was doing Mother Courage, and the character has 5 songs in the play. It is not a musical, thank you, but it is a play with music, with songs. And so I started working with a pianist and a brilliant singer and director to make sure I would do a good job of the songs, because I never had sung in public. Well, it turned out I did it very well indeed. And when I got back from the production, which was thrilling, I asked them to keep working with me because I wanted to explore, to see where this might lead, what I might do. And I love telling stories like you. And so I would tell a story when a thought came up from a song. And then Andy, my director, would say, well, that sounds like this song. And then Mark, my pianist, would say, well, I know exactly how to arrange that. And before you knew it, we were entertaining each other so much that we sort of went, well, you know what? This could be a show. And so we did. We started in cabaret spaces, and we took it to London, to a theater called the other place. And then we brought it back to Cafe Carlisle. Every show, every generation of it, the stories change depending on the jobs I do. And so then the songs change. And now I've got so much, I have to pick and choose what I want to do that night.
Because you've lived so much life and you have so many more stories. And I will say that my dear wife, Miriam Libby, because I've done a one-person show as well with music, and the accompanist is so important. My wife is always telling, my dear wife, she says, oh, I wish you had a bigger pianist. Or at least that's what it sounds like she's saying. I'm not 100% sure on this. But she's right either way. This is true. Now, let me ask you, what is a story that you've added, without giving too much away, from in the last 6 months or so that wasn't there like 3 years ago or 5 years ago when you were developing this?
Well, it depends on, I suppose now I would add a story from the Kaminsky Method, from the Netflix show with Michael Douglas, because I shot that within, so much depends on the work and when I've done the work, you know.
So, and let me ask you, you since you brought it up, everybody's going, so are you still friends with Michael Douglas and you get along great and you still,
Oh yes. Oh
yeah.
yeah. No, we're good friends. We care very much for each other, and we love working together.
What is, because everybody also wants to know about these people that you've worked with over the years. So you obviously have a chemistry, a kinship with him. What's a cute anecdote you can tell us about him on the set or off the set, or just something lovely and fun?
Well, when I talk about romancing and that mudslide, we did that 5 times, and Michael always I came out of that shoot with about 7 or 8 stitches, I think, from not just that incident but others. And Michael says that I am the only leading lady he knows who could possibly put up with all that pain.
Was there a point? I mean, when you're young, unfortunately, in some ways, there are actresses who are like, when they're first starting, they'll do anything, they'll go on the Harvey Weinstein couch or something like that. But you were like, if it's for the role and it's a legitimate thing,
Yeah, no, that's fine. But also above that, on top of that, I never wanted to do work I had already done. I never wanted to repeat myself. So if someone, body heat happened and they said, "Oh my God, she's so sexy," so I said, "Okay, that's enough of that." And the next role was with Steve Martin and Carl Reiner, The Man with Two Brains, which was a takeoff, a spoof about the femme fatale, Dolores Benedict kind of thing. And then became the shy, insecure writer of romancing that grew into herself. And then after that, I went and did Crimes of Passion for Ken Russell. And you should have heard the screams then. Um,
because that goes back to the sexy. So what was it was Ken Russell. So when Ken Russell makes a movie, it's just it's all over the.
I've always considered him, I still do, a genius. He's a flawed genius, but he was a genius.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? So also, by the way, we're talking with Kathleen Turner here, of course. Since you also brought up body heat, and again the personal and the private, the public and the persona. So when Bill Hurt died a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
the revelations came out that he could be allegedly a rather terrible person to some of the people he was with. Did you have any of that?
I don't gossip. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
all
do
right.
gossip about any of the people I work with.
Well, do you have any good stories? In other words, working with him where he surprised you in a pleasant way, or his method.
Well, one of the great things about working with Bill and Larry Kasdan was the three of us came back together on Accidental Tourist. And it was gorgeous to see how we had all matured, how much we had learned, how we had changed. It was a wonderful opportunity of a lesson in life.
Oh, cool. Let me ask you, speaking of working with people and how different people work, because you work with Larry Kasdan and all these different directors. Do you have any John Waters stories?
John is still very different. And we laughed. God, we laughed so much when we were shooting Serial Mom. I'll tell you a secret about John, is that his humor sometimes seems very raw or rough. But that's only because he sees people so clearly. But the second he senses that he's actually hurt someone's feelings, he pulls back, he pulls away, he apologizes. He's really such a softie. And he has the ability to take people who are really unattractive and make you care about them. And that speaks to his compassion.
I mean, who can forget Edith, the egg lady in Females? I mean, come on, I loved her. Edith Massey, what a legend, what a wonderful. Oh my God. Let me ask you. Speaking of the sexiness thing, you grew up though as kind of a very straight-laced, or were raised as a Christian, serious. Boom, boom, boom. How did you reconcile that, didn't you? With, with a pretty serious, and then having to do sexy roles and occasional nudity and things like that.
Well, my grandfather, my great grandfather was a missionary to China, and my father grew up in China. He was brought up by two great aunts, very Victorian great aunts. So yes, he had a certain strictness and belief that. But when it came to religion itself, first of all, we went just to English-speaking churches because we lived overseas usually, and so it was sort of more important to find a community of English speakers sometimes than any particular religion. There wasn't any one particular religion, although you could say it was all Christian, yes. But no, in this sense, my mother and my father were both very liberal, that everyone absolutely had the right to their beliefs, period.
Oh, I did. I need to reread your Wikipedia listing because they said you were in a strict Christian household, and I guess that is not a correct, necessary thing. Which is
Not correct.
by the way, and also the whole missionary thing. I'm absolutely for, well, at least a missionary position. But let me ask you though. You don't even laugh. You just kind of give me a look like, oh, he's saying something stupid. I'm just going to let that roll, and then I'm going to wait for the next question. But where is your, if you have any kind of religious or spirituality thing now? Are you Christian? Or are you just kind of zenny?
No. That's none of your business.
What? What do you?
None of your business.
Oh,
My
really?
business.
Okay.
Or mine. Yes.
Religion tends to be my business because last I looked, I was a rabbi. But it's a question I tend to ask people. So let me ask you about another coworker, another colleague, and tell me something about someone brilliant. Because on Broadway, in fact, the producer of the show, Dave, saw you a few years ago in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, where you acted with Bill Irwin, who is just this brilliant mime movement person, actor. Do you have a Bill Irwin story?
Bill. I asked Bill to read George when Albie said I could do a reading for him. My first thought was Bill, because I felt that the comedy had never been realized in the play, that no production I had heard of, because I took care never to see it. I didn't want anyone else in my head, I thought that he would be absolutely perfect for George. His mind is so wicked sharp and smart and fast, and that's George. You really can see his thinking, and I was right. I mean, Bill got the Tony for it.
He was brilliant, and if you saw his Samuel Beckett thing, if you got to see that that he was doing off Broadway.
Oh yeah.
But let me also ask you, since we move in this direction, you didn't want to see other people playing Martha in Who's Afraid of Virginia, but
No.
you can't not have, being an actress, being whatever, have seen the movie with Elizabeth Taylor.
I saw some scenes from it occasionally, but I would never watch the whole thing, and it made me very angry because it was everything that people were prejudiced and pre-thought about the play. First of all, and the biggest mistake, for which I really do blame Mike Nichols, was George is never drunk. George comes in the first scene, pours himself a drink, and nurses it for the rest of the play. It's not two drunks screaming at each other. Martha is the only one who's drunk, along with Honey and Nick, but George is never drunk. And I think that makes an immense difference. It means that George is always aware, always sober enough to decide to choose his actions.
And Irwin, went in that. It's been a while, but he went that way, and he is the master manipulator in a manner of speaking of the evening, in a way. Now, but again, we get to another film that you can't not have seen. At some point, you have, either in your teenage years or whatever, you must have seen The Graduate, right? Yes,
I think I did, very, very long ago, huh?
But then you had to go on stage in The Graduate and be Mrs. Robinson. Do you block out Mel Brooks's wife? What was her? Oh my God.
Anne Bancroft.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I heard that she was not happy that it was being done as a stage piece. But I will say that Terry Johnson, who wrote the play, it was so fresh, the way and how he wrote it. He actually said to me, if you've got something of equal shock value to her nudity, if you can do it in underwear or half dressed or how, that he'd be willing to consider it. And there isn't anything as powerful, as shocking as that total nudity. So I said, okay, I guess we have to do it. I wasn't happy, thrilled about it, just thinking about it. But heavens, it's part of the role. It just becomes part of the character. So it's not something you end up really thinking about either.
actually, I'm interested that you brought up. I was even thinking just blocking out Anne Bancroft for your mind so that you don't do her.
Oh, that wasn't a problem.
Never,
No,
even having seen her. No,
the material was so different.
Let me ask you, because you're obviously a theater creature as much as a movie creature.
Oh, more.
More, but so what was the first show you ever saw? Live stage thing.
I saw when I was 13. My father was posted to the Court of St. James to London, and so the first night we were there, I crept out of the hotel and got into the Gods, which is the fourth tier in British theaters. It's so far up that really, if you have a problem with heights, don't go there. And I think it was Mame with Angela Lansbury. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my God, I can make my living at this. I could pay my rent doing this. And that was such a gift, not to think of it. The British see acting as a profession, as a trained, skilled profession. In this country, in the United States, we still seem to think about it as something that happens. Oh, you happen to be right for it, or you happen in the right place at the right time. Rubbish. One of my passions now is teaching. And I just got back from a session at University of Virginia, where I work with the graduate students in acting. And I love it. I love doing it. And I think it's something I'm good at. But it's just, no, this is not, you don't do 8 shows a week because you happen to be good at something. You do it because you have every sense extended into the sound, the sight, the feel, the air, the space. And you can actually, live it 8 times a week. It's an extraordinary feeling of being alive. But it's not for sissies.
When you get these grad students though, how can you teach acting? I mean, what is? I was like, okay, you have to listen to the other person and react. That's 95%. But what can you teach? If you see a scene, how do you critique it?
It's more than that. I mean, this last session we worked on communication with directors, the support you owe or would give to a director, self-directing, because you're not always going to get a director who's that capable. All of the above, with 3 new short plays and 3 different new directors to them. All of this was so they had to get up and in its 2.5 hours stage with this director, a new piece, a piece unknown to them. And it's my idea being that it took me a couple of years after so-called, I graduated from college, to learn how much more an actor can do in terms of helping the playwright, in terms of helping and supporting the director in terms of supporting the other actors and even the design elements around you. And I wanted to start these guys off with a step up into that, into a more professional readiness. Yeah.
All right. Well, but I am curious then. I mean, how do you keep an actor sort of also has to know his or her place in terms of you don't tell the director what to do, or you don't look at your fellow actor and sort of say, I know the director's telling you this, but why don't you try that? I mean,
It's very simple. It's very simple. It's how you say, what if I were to move this way at that time, and see how the other actor would counter or how the director likes it. No, you don't say no. Once you have said yes to a role, you've said yes to it all. You know, to the playwright, to the producer, to the director, to the investors, for heaven's sake. So there is no once you've agreed to a role. But there is so much an actor can do, much more than simply being a prop on stage, you know.
yes.
To be part of the creative process of a production.
Well, what is the best piece of directing advice that you ever got, either from a stage director or for someone behind the camera?
Well, the director I'm working with, Andy Gale, in Finding My Voice, gave me a great direction in one song I was doing. He said, you know, what if you didn't attack it quite so much? And I thought, okay, I'll look at that. And it was better. And I said, okay, you got me on that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, you collaborate. And by the way, we might as well tell people that some of the songs that you sing in your one-person show is called Finding My Voice. There's I'd Rather Be Sailing. That's a William Finn song, I think, from A New Brain. Are you still doing that one, or is that one?
Oh, yeah. No, that could very well be my favorite song.
Oh, it's a lovely. What else? What other tunes are in there that people can hear Kathleen Turner sing on stage at Kingsborough next Saturday?
Oh, well, there's a section of when I'm starting out as an actor and growing in that goes from Paper Moon to Anywhere I Hang My Hat Is Home, to Sweet Kentucky Ham, to On the Street Where We Live. And that's sort of starting out, launching myself, starting to feel that power and everything, starting to get worn down by the road and the loneliness and the being away, and then coming home.
That is a typical actor's journey. Your life was a little less typical and unfortunately curtailed on some level by physical ailment. How are you, by the way, in terms of arthritis and all of that?
I'm getting better. I had a bad time last month. I tried a new medication that was not for me, let's say, and that set me back a bit. But it's coming back. Just have to heal a little more.
So is it this recurring gloomy, like you get bad weeks and then good weeks? Or I mean, I always think, how the hell this works? Yeah.
Days. And, a bad day is, and the next day you're better.
Well, would you be able to do an 8-week or 8-show-a-week thing on Broadway?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would take it, because that's if I were unable, then that would be unkind. It would be breaking my contract, to my mind. So I would not take on that responsibility now.
Would you take on another theatrical show if it weren't that kind of schedule? Like off Broadway, just a week ago, you had Hal Linden and Bernie Capel doing Two Jews Talking, right? One is 89, the other's 91
I
years
did
old.
that show.
What?
I think I did that. Too much tuna fish.
No, that was the tuna fish thing was the guys from what the hell were their names? Hello. That's a different show. This is
okay.
Talking. But the combined age of these two men is 180. And so they do 4 shows. They start on like Thursday or Friday night. They do 2 shows on a Shabbos, Sunday afternoon, and then they go away for 4 days because at 90.
To recover.
Yeah. But could you?
That's a possibility, definitely.
Well, what are you working on, if anything, besides finding my voice? What's
Lots of films.
Hmm?
Lots of films. I had a film come out in October, opened at the Toronto Film Festival, and that will have more of a release called The Swearing Jar. And I have a film coming out in November called The Estate. And I'll be shooting a film again in December, a new one called Have No Fear. And then in January on HBO, the White House Plumbers series starts with
Is that
Woody
Watergate,
Harrelson.
is that about Watergate, or what is that about? The White House plumbers, or is it
Oh,
just?
it's about Alderman and Ehrlichman and those fools. That it's actually about what they really did. It was so insane, and they thought they could get away with it all. It's so funny, and it's all true. And I played this woman, Dita Beard, who kind of cracked the whole thing open because she's the one who wrote a check to bribe Attorney General Mitchell for $400,000.
I would take it. No, no.
She ended up with a nice horse farm in Virginia, unlike the others who ended up, I think, in jail.
Well, can I also think of living? I mean, are you bi-coastal? Do you live mostly in one place now?
I live only in New York City.
New York. Why did you choose? You could live in a mansion. Well, you could probably have a really wonderful place in Manhattan. But why New York as opposed to LA or back to South or something?
Well, in large part because I grew up as a citizen of the world, in a sense, huh? And New York is the closest I can get to the rest of the world in our country.
And post pandemic, are you do you travel a bit or a lot? Because
I'm traveling a little too much, into my mind. I had to run out to LA last week because, well, to see Norman Lear, because he is an old and dear. I serve on the board of People for the American Way for 39 years. You must know of Rabbi David Saperstein. Yeah.
All Jews know each other. It's a pipeline.
No, he's a very well-known Jew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this also brings up. I know unfortunately, we don't have much more time with you. I know you have to. You're welcome to stay and play the trivia game, but I know you can't do that. But in terms of actors and people in with the spotlight on them being overtly and openly political, which you certainly are. I mean, you're on Planned Parenthood, People for the American Way. What's the other one? Meals on Wheels, which that shouldn't be political at all. That's just an activism thing. Do you think performers should be obligated, if they're in the spotlight, to go that extra mile and say, this is how I feel and this is how you should feel and I'm doing this?
I don't think obligated is the right word. I think you should realize what a responsibility it is and choose carefully, what you say publicly. But I think if you feel strongly about something, of course it's your right to speak up.
Now, let me have you speak up one more time before we let you go. We're talking with Kathleen Turner. Please go see her next Saturday at Kingsborough. It's in Kingsborough Community College, but they got might tell us. Kingsborough Community College, on stage at Kingsborough in the Oxford section of Brooklyn. Get your tickets on stage at kingsborough.org, or you go to KathleenTurner.net is her thing. But let me ask you, in doing the Finding My Voice thing from here to there, is there a story that that you would love to have in there, but it's a certain amount of time, the evening would be too long? Can you tell us something that isn't in the show that you wish were?
Yes, I'd like time to do more Molly Ivins, who I perform in a one-woman show called Red Hot Patriot, the kick-ass wit of Molly Ivins, who was a brilliant political humorist and journalist, primarily with the Texas Observer. She actually died almost 15 years ago. And a lot of in her last column is the ending of the play. And I would love to be able to put more of that in in the show, but it really is too long. But everything she wrote then is more true now. And that's frightening and illuminating. And thank God she uses humor to get you to listen.
It has been illuminating and delightful and wonderful having this kick-ass conversation with Kathleen Turner. Please go see her next Shabbos in Brooklyn. Get your tickets. Kathleen, I may say it's just been absolutely an honor and delight talking with you. We'd love to have you back in the Daverhood sometime, but good health, more important than anything else, good health to you and much more great work. Thank you for being with us in the Daverhood.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Likewise. Bye-bye now. Kathleen Turner, my friends. Oh my God, how wonderful. Shalom and shalom. This is your old pal, Rabbi Saul Solomon. Find out more about me, because, this is mostly about me. ShalomDammit.com is my website. I'm going to bring back Dave. You all know Dave. Dave is coming back to the Daverhood to play the Today Yesterday trivia quiz with some wonderful people. What else the hell? I don't know what else the hell he's doing. He's doing whatever else he does on Dave's Gone By. Until then, let me play a little bit of music to ease my way out of here. Here's some klezmer hits for Halloween. Shalom. Hey! Hey! All right, friends, yes indeed. Here on Dave's Gone By in the Daverhood, absolutely lovely conversation with Kathleen Turner on Dave's Gone By. But we have more to do with, the witching hour is upon us. Look at that.
I can't see.
Very sexy and black, actually. Here is
Oh, look at Vicki.
Vicki Quade, ladies and gentlemen. And Vicki, how you doing?
All right. I'm actually doing a show tonight at a parish for a fundraiser. And these are the shows that pay for everything because people come out. Hundreds of people will come out to a fundraiser at a parish. We're just scraping by trying to get people still to come to the theater here in Chicago. So I'm thrilled to be doing more of these kinds of things.
So, but if it's a benefit, so you're paid to perform at the benefit, and the benefit raises money from people who come to see the thing. You don't have to volunteer your time for some cause you don't really care about. Yeah, no, that's cool.
I get paid.
Good. Well, I'm loving the outfit. I'm loving the creepy Hal. Is that a Tim Burton thing behind you, or just a?
No, it's just a picture.
Well,
my backyard,
We're hoping, we're expecting that Leslie Hoban Blake will be joining us to play the game. Okay.
I have to say it was great. I listened to the entire Kathleen Turner interview.
Was that cool? She was really good.
Very cool. But now, doesn't she? Is it RA that she has? She has some autoimmune issue, doesn't she?
It's a kind of arthritis, but I don't think it's rheumatoid. I think it's a weirder, worse. Darker arthritis. I just wish she told the rabbi she doesn't gossip. I'm like, shit. That would have been more fun, But I mean, because gossip, it's true. It's not gossip. It's true. It's a real anecdote. Yeah. We are getting in the Daverhood at the moment, trying to, or she was.
Leslie?
She tried to log in. Not there yet. And we're also waiting for Ricky Ritzel, who said that he would join us today.
Very good.
But I'm not seeing him.
No, there's there's 3 participants that popped up. So someone's there.
Well, here's you, me, and
that's 2.
Ricky trying to come on. Ricky, if you're there, please log on using the well, the link that I sent to you. And Leslie, of course, Leslie is logging on. Leslie Hoban Blake is the co-host of the long-running theater review show Two on the Aisle that she hosts with our mutual friend Charlie Gross. And of course, I should have mentioned, Vicki Quade co-created Late Night Catechism, is also of, I'm assuming, wait, on your benefit, are you doing Holy Ghost Bingo or are you
Yeah,
doing
I'm doing Holy Ghost bingo.
Holy Ghost Bingo?
Yeah,
And
because
you'll
people
do that.
want that.
Are you doing it
Hence
Monday night?
the outfit.
Sorry. Are you doing anything Monday night for Halloween, or is that just an off night because it's Monday night? Or
Oh yeah, no. We're not doing anything at the theater. No.
Ah,
So, and I think everyone's doing parties this weekend. So it's I've been invited to a number of parties I can't go to because I'm working. So
oh, if, we should all be so lucky. It's like I can't. I'm working.
I was going to say, stop bragging.
yeah, right.
Good morning.
Sorry.
Hi. Oh, look at the dark, spooky. Look
Isn't
at the
that
dark,
great?
spooky background. Whoa.
It's great.
Leslie, I love your outfit. I love the Annie Hallish, like the over the suit thing and the cravat.
It's a shirt, and this is my father's neckerchief that I gave him.
Aw,
It was actually his pocket handkerchief, and I wear it when I can.
Oh my
It's a
God.
little silk square, and I love it.
that's
You
so
should
sweet.
probably wash the mucus off it at some point, but was that? You said it was a handkerchief, not a
We're
neckerchief.
talking about mucus.
It's
I always
a pocket handkerchief.
Well, what is the
No.
point of a pocket handkerchief if
It's
you
for
can't?
style. It's for style.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce.
It's
He'll learn. But
functional.
you'll get him sartorially up to snuff before it's too late.
Before I die, yeah. She's had 20, 24, 25 years now. It's like if I'm not, I'm wearing a shirt.
Well, I had to look at. You're wearing your jellyfish, so I had to be able to live up to your jellyfish, didn't I?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. This look how pretty. Have you guys ever heard of an axolotl? Do you guys know what an
Axolotl?
axolotl is?
Was it an ancient Aztec god?
No, it's apparently
does
this
sound
cross
like
between a
it.
frog and a salamander, and they call it the Mexican walking frog. And it's
Oh no! Didn't you tell us about that the last show we had?
yeah, I think I've heard. That's not it. What the hell is that? This is not it. I don't know what the hell that is, but that is not it.
That's a kitty cat in a coat.
Was it supposed to be
He's
Elvis?
Elvis,
Is-
yeah.
is- yeah.
That's Dave's
Oh.
baby picture. What do you mean?
Oh.
So we're waiting. We're hoping for Ricky Ritzel, but what I can do,
Oh, I
if
love
not,
it.
assuming he logs on, is to start the game in terms of because we have two players here, so we can kind of begin it. We've got 7 questions to come on our yesterday quiz. By the way, I didn't ask. How you doing, Leslie? You have a good week? Everything good?
Yeah, except that I missed a show.
Oh.
I didn't feel well. I was doing great, and then every now and then, things happen. So I missed. What did I miss?
Oh,
Piano
you
lesson.
couldn't go to the theater one time, you mean? Thank
Yeah, I
you.
missed piano lesson. I have to. I'm so upset. They changed our date
Oh, I'm
because of the
sorry.
COVID outbreak.
Oh.
They changed our date. Oh yeah, I think either you showed it or I saw it on the news, but I
That's
didn't.
very weird.
Oh, David Muir had it. That's who had it.
He
Yeah, it's adorable,
Wait.
and it's
Oh,
called an axolotl.
it's an axolotl as opposed to an axolotl.
Axolotl. Okay, axolotl. Yeah, axolotl would be a little vegetarian.
I don't even. I'm not gonna.
It would be soy frog. It's okay. It's all right. Don't
Soy
worry.
frog. Sí, yo estoy un.
I said axolotl was what I said. That's why
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
know it wasn't. They're never as good as yours. What can I say?
What the hell is that?
It's an axolotl onesie.
All right, this I need to show.
It's $36.
We're getting this. We're getting there.
It's got, how many arms does it have?
Let's go.
How did it happen? Does it happen in real life?
Well, yeah, axolotl is
evidently
not
happened
a
in real life.
mythological
It's
creature.
not.
You can get
It's
them
an
in a pet
actual
store.
thing.
Yes.
Is that going to be your Halloween costume?
Most likely, yes. Okay, because what it really is this amphibian creature that looks sort of like a salamander frog, but it's got extra appendages. And
Very large very large eyes. Yeah, I know.
yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I brought this up because
I don't
I
either.
fell in love with them. I saw them.
Thank you for my sartorial compliment this morning. I don't think we've ever done that before. So I
Oh,
appreciate
look how cute he is! Oh my God, look at this! Look at him!
Yes, they're really adorable.
I don't know how that happened in nature.
Yes.
And it makes me wonder what
Well, it
else
might
is
have happened
happening out
in
there.
a lab and then be set out into nature. You never know.
Right.
Well, so it's a Friday morning creature from God.
I think
God has been
Wait a
creating
minute. Wait
all
a minute. There are tiglons and ligers. If there can be tiglons and ligers, there can be this little guy.
That's
And
right. And
platypuses. So, God made a platypus probably Friday afternoon before cutting off from work, and before. All right.
Is it platypuses or platypi?
oh,
Oh.
water
Oh my
monster.
God.
Now, come on, look at him.
They can
Look at-
regrow limbs. Wow.
And then one of the most wonderful things. I don't know why, but I love them. I love it because they're
I
so
don't
ridiculous.
I don't blame you at all. It's really
Thank you.
adorable.
All right.
Really and truly adorable.
Now let us, Vicky. Could you
Yes.
kindly think of a number between 1 and
6. All right. I'm going to go with 2.
Vicky, wishing out a number 2, and Leslie, you're giving us, of course, number 6 for Leslie.
I want custodial rights at this point of that number, if you don't mind.
All right. We will
Assume
grandfather
that
you
it's mine.
in. You get
It
6.
hasn't come up in the lotto at all. On the $1 billion lotto, not 1 6.
Oh, really? I didn't know there wasn't even a $1 billion lotto. I missed
It's
the.
a very large lotto, Charlie. It's about $67 million.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of lotto. It's an axolotl.
It's a lot of lotto. That you
I'm
should
gonna roll a
start one.
die.
No, I think the Powerball. It's the Powerball. It's like
Yeah.
almost $1 billion now.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's like 800 million or something.
But did someone win, or are they still waiting for another?
No, they're still waiting for a winner.
Wow.
It just keeps getting bigger.
Well, yeah, obviously. Could you imagine winning $1 billion? My
Yeah.
God.
I think I would need a
But but think about taxes. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and once I fill up my Subaru, at that point, how much is really?
That's it.
Well, you never get
Listen.
the full billion, you know.
It just they take so much it's barely even worth winning. I got
It's like
That's
you'll
right.
end up with 300 million or something.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it. It's not
Yeah.
worth it,
I can't buy Michael Jackson's mansion. What is the point? So, by the way, Leslie,
Twitter, that's what you want to buy.
well, yeah.
Who wants Twitter? Why would anybody buy Twitter? What a stupid thing to do.
Why?
Stupid.
I mean, as a money-making thing, or just as an annoyance thing, or why wouldn't you want to own?
Both. He's not going to make money on it. It's losing money. It's been losing money consistently for the last couple of years. Once the pandemic lost its hold on the populace, Twitter's stock went way down, which is why he didn't want to buy it. After he talked about wanting it and it went down, he said, I don't want it. And then they said, no, you got to take it. But then the other thing is he can't win. Somebody's going to be on his ass all the time about what's going on with Twitter. It's too liberal. It's not liberal enough. You can't talk this. You got to let them do. It's a stupid investment, really and truly.
Well, he's firing lots and lots of people, so he's going to save some money there. He can, because think about it, all you really need to have is a domain name and a posting thing.
And I think that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to turn it into.
Yeah.
He'll have some kid in the basement in his mother's house doing it for him,
Well, basically, and then it becomes a pretty good investment. It's like 150,000 people, and then it's like a kid in the basement. And it's like, there's a server.
But every time somebody says something and he makes a particular decision, all of the people who are paying money to be involved are going to go.
Yeah.
His advertisers will leave. They leave all the time.
Oh, yeah. All
I
right.
mean, it's a headache, is what I'm saying. You're buying a headache. I don't understand why anybody would want that. The kids who invented it, that's a different story. The people who started it, the people who've been running it for a while and already, I probably were perfectly happy to be fired. I'm sure they got very nice parachutes when they got fired. Nobody talked about it. I mean, he didn't say you're gone. Take your shoes. Take everything out of your desk and leave. They have clauses in contracts.
Joyce is saying they each got to take home a pair of axolotls.
Right.
To breathe.
Right. And an electric car. But the point is that they all are going to get millions and billions of dollars, I'm sure.
Of course.
in
Maybe,
their contract.
maybe.
Okay, one of the articles says, "Welcome to hell."
Welcome to what? What to know about Welcome to Hell, Elon? Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see.
I thank you, Joyce. That's exactly how I feel.
Well, maybe he's got the money to throw away on it, and
When
Yeah.
I bought my new phone at the beginning of the pandemic,
Yeah.
which was right after, the end of Trump, supposedly. And the beginning of the pandemic, I bought a new phone in January of 2020. And because I had a new phone, Twitter didn't recognize my phone and it closed my account for suspicious reasons. No, it just did that automatically. I was hoping that they closed it because I had said so many nasty things about Trump. I was hoping I was going to get like being on Nixon's enemy list, which I also wanted to be. I had a little button that said Nixon's enemy list when I was a kid. But so the point of the story is, I didn't have Twitter all through the pandemic, and you know what? I lived, and I used Twitter as a pressure valve when Trump was in office. I was so angry all the time, every single day. There was such anger that I would write something awful about him, and I would put it out, and I'd feel a little better. And I was doing it constantly, at least. So I had a little group of followers. I mean, a really little group of followers, and I followed about another couple of hundred people, and it made me happy. And I got through the pandemic. And if I can get through the pandemic without something, I don't friggin' need it. That's
Let
my.
me tell you this, Leslie. Let me tell you this. You got lucky because we met a man at Walgreens.
Who had no feet. What?
No, we met a guy at Walgreens, and
Oh God.
he is on the other side politically than you. And he was posting things on the feed, and at one point he was posting, I guess on the Twitter feed or whatever it was, of Hillary Clinton. Hated Hillary, hated Bill, hated Bill. And he was never posting anything, just saying, that she's incompetent, she can't do this, she can't do it. He was visited by the FBI.
Wow.
Whoa.
Because it was connected directly, like, to her.
Well, wait, was she still the whatever the hell, the secretary? Was she still the Secretary of State when he was doing that?
Or it might have been just when she was, I think it was just when she was running.
I don't understand that, because I said, I would get on a chain of other people's horrible things. I would forward people's others horrible things. I would make up my own horrible things to say about him. And when he would do something stupid, I would point it out and I would underline it and I would say why it was stupid. So, I every single day, and I waited for the knock on the door and I didn't get it. I was very disappointed.
Well, this person did. And it was from the other side. It was
Okay.
it was never a violent thing. It was never.
But I was on the other side of.
Yeah.
In other words, I was on the liberal side when I was posting. So it's exactly the same situation.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm just.
And then
Not gonna
somebody
do it.
goes in and hits Nancy Pelosi's husband in the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
Come on.
Horrible.
Is there any such thing as an empty threat anymore? I don't know.
Yeah. Or it could have been just. Was it a crazy guy? Was it politically motivated, or was it just like I'm going to hit somebody?
They said he had written some things, but they were spazzo things. There wasn't any particular. He just wrote. He pushed forward conspiracy theories. He didn't specifically say kill Nancy or anything like that. And he wasn't looking for the husband. He was looking for Nancy.
He was
He
calling
went
out.
in
Where's
saying,
Nancy?
Nancy, where are you?
Yeah.
What was
Right.
that?
By the way,
Yeah.
I was
No,
on.
that's what Leslie says. He was calling out, where's Nancy?
Where's
It was
Nancy?
not like a random. He was
No,
there
he
to
was
attack
there
Nancy.
to do her damage, but he didn't have a manifesto. They went through his Twitter stuff. They haven't found a manifesto yet, and I'm not saying he looks he's obviously in need of help, and thank God her husband hasn't died, but he wound up with a fractured skull. God only knows what that'll do to an 82-year-old man.
Yeah.
That's not going to help him live a long time.
This could be almost like a Final Destination thing, because he probably should have died when he was driving drunk. And then when he got that DUI, and God was like,
Are
I'm
you
just
talking about
scaring you now.
Samara? Are
Huh?
you talking about appointment in Samara? That at some point, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, this kind of thing. There's this film series, a horror movie series of characters who are supposed to die in a plane crash, but they
Oh,
don't.
I know. Yes, I know. I know that. I never watched it, but I know the movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I don't like horror films, but
I don't either.
eventually all of them die.
Right.
They were meant to die and they didn't. So I'm wondering if he was driving drunk and he was doing a very dangerous thing, but he survived that. Maybe God's like, I'll get you with a hammer.
Wait, who was driving drunk?
Wasn't Nancy Pelosi's husband had a DUI?
When?
What was it? A year or two or three ago?
Was it? I didn't
Now you
see
look
that.
that
I'm
up.
sorry.
Jose.
I didn't see that either.
But thank God this idiot did not have a knife or a gun.
I believe he found the hammer in the house. The latest thing I heard was that when the cops got there, they each had their hand on the hammer, and the guy got it and hit him before the cops could get to them.
Well, haven't you heard the story?
Unless the cops are walking very slowly. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's that song. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer Paul Pelosi. I'd hit him in the head. I'd hit him in the face. Well, anyway.
You know, that couple, they've been married 59 years. So whatever else you want to say about her, you know, that's a testament. No, I'm not saying you want to say anything about her. I'm just saying what anything one wants to say. She managed to, you know, raise kids and keep a marriage going as well as that. She really was the head of the house, as so to speak.
Vicki, yeah.
No, he was so smart to call 911 and just leave it on.
I don't think he called. Did he call 911 or did the neighbors call 911?
No, he called 911 and left the phone on so that they could hear him saying things like, "What are you going to do to me?" You know,
yes, put down that hammer, right,
you know, right.
Actually, at that age, he should have had just life alert. He should just poke the little thing on his chest and say, you know, here we go. But by the way,
you know, I have one of those.
Yeah, I did look at it, and
you want to get started on the game. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, I'm just going to say I wasn't making stuff up. Back in August, Paul Pelosi, the guy was.
You're right.
He pleaded guilty. He was required to attend a 3-month drinking driving class and install an ignition interlock device on his car. So yeah.
Well, there should be a mandatory age for giving up cars. My father gave his up at 88, but I'm sure that he should have given it up sooner.
I should have given mine up when I was 37, but I'm still driving for no particular good reason. Anyway, we've got Vicki. She chose the 2. Leslie, I rolled a 6. So you get to decide, are you first or second?
No, I'm allow my friend to go first. oh, that's the thing behind you is lightening up. So it changes color, does it?
Mine?
It looks like it got lighter. Didn't it get lighter?
Oh, I had my phone on. I put my phone.
Okay. I thought maybe it was like a GIF.
No. I put the sound off, so if it rings, it won't disturb us. So
this is much more attractive. The other one was very dark. This at least give you a little light behind you.
Well, we're disturbed already, because there's nothing more disturbing than this show. We're playing the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz with Vicki, Quade, and Leslie Hoban Blake. 7 questions. They're each worth 2 points. Some of them, a lot of them are based on things that happened in history on this date, October 29th. If you get the question right, you get 2 points. If you miss it, the other contestant gets the chance to steal that question and get the 2 points instead. Are you guys ready? All right.
Sure.
Yes, our friend's not coming in, huh?
If he comes, he comes.
Is that a spider you're wearing, Vicki?
It is.
Oh, I love it. I just noticed it was a spider.
Can you see it?
I just noticed the little legs sticking out.
Yeah, no, here. Oh, well, maybe I need to pull it up, but I can see it. But
I can see it fine. I just didn't notice the legs because
I had to put an outfit on,
To see, I see that. I see that.
Halloween, you got
very Halloween, very vampire,
very theatrical.
Very vampire.
All right, Vicki. No, sorry, Vicki. Vicki, you get.
No, I gave it to Vicki. Yes.
As per Leslie.
I'll go first.
Vicki, you get this first question. The year was 1552.
Right.
After the successful siege of Kazan, Ivan IV, aka Ivan the Terrible, returns home to Moscow. Which of these is false about terrible Ivan?
Oh.
A, he died while playing chess. B, he had such a good relationship with Catherine de' Medici, he asked for her hand in marriage. C, though a tyrant later on, in his early years he was a progressive reformer. Or D, he beat his pregnant daughter-in-law so badly she miscarried.
Oh, wow.
One of these is false.
Wow. I'm going to say he was never liberal. I'm going to say it's the third one. That he started out as this liberal and turned terrible. I think anyone who could beat somebody was terrible at birth.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. It's probably wrong.
Well, I'm afraid, just like the daughter-in-law, you got beat. So that is not the correct answer. Leslie, this question now goes to you.
Come on, Leslie, you can do this.
Does that mean you just gave me an answer because you said that the
you said like the daughter-in-law? Does that mean that's true?
Like you said that she was beaten. So that sounds like you let me know that the last one was either true or not true.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought he said too. I thought anyway, just please go over it with me one more time.
Sure. So which of these is false about Ivan the Terrible from Russia? Is it A, he died while playing chess. B, he had such a good relationship with Catherine de' Medici, he asked for her hand in marriage. Or D, he beat his pregnant daughter-in-law so badly, she miscarried.
Well,
Didn't
I
he
saw
also
the
love the
Eisen,
polka? Wasn't he like a polka guy?
I saw the Eisenstein movie, but I don't remember most of these things. Most of that was a lot of battles. It was close-ups of Ivan, and then the battles, and then. So I'm going to say Catherine de' Medici is false. Oh wait, which is false?
False.
I would bet he did beat his daughter-in-law. I would bet he did. So chess or Catherine de' Medici? Chess or Catherine? I'll say he did. I'll say A is false.
You're saying he did not die while playing chess. You're saying that is not true.
Yeah,
That's how he died.
I don't believe.
Final answer?
Sure.
Checkmate. Oh, I fooled both of you today. The incorrect answer is that he had a great relationship with Elizabeth I of England.
So it
And
wasn't.
she asked him to marry him, but no relation or anything with Catherine.
Okay.
All the others were true. So far we have a zero-sum game as we move on to the next question on Dave's Gone By. You ready? This is for Leslie directly. Quote.
No, it's Leslie Hoban Blake.
Oh. Quote. This is a sharp medicine, but it is a physician for all diseases and miseries. That's a quote from Sir Walter Raleigh, who loses his head today after years spent in and out of the Tower of London at the pleasure of His Majesty King James I. Sir Walter Raleigh was an explorer, of course, but also a writer and poet. Which of these was not a poem written by Sir Walter Raleigh? A, The Wood, the Weed, the Wag. B, Song of Myself. C, To a Lady with an Unruly and Ill-Mannered Dog Who Bit Several Persons of Importance. Or D, The Nose.
And this is which is false.
Yeah, one of these was not a poem by...
There's a famous Russian play called The Nose, or it's an opera now, so I'm going to throw that one out right away. The Wood, the Weed, and the Wag just sounds like something you would make up. Song of Myself was Walt Whitman, I think. So, Jesus.
The dog title is great.
It's a great title. It's almost too great to question it. Only one is false, though. So it could be The Nose. It could be Song of Myself. The dog, the lady, and it's a very long. All right, I'm going to go with C. What the hell?
Okay. I'm just writing back. Ricky Ritzel can't make it to the quiz for a good reason. So we
He loses.
Give him our regards.
But Leslie, what was your answer?
I said I thought C might be false.
Is that
the wonderfully inventive title might be false.
And is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, your answer wasn't arch bad, but it was not true. That is a real Sir Walter
Raleigh. Okay.
To a lady with an unruly and ill-mannered dog who bit several persons of importance. It was an actual Sir Walter Raleigh poem.
Does it say who the lady is? Does it name the lady in the poem?
It's so great.
I actually haven't seen the poem. It's a great title. It is.
It is a great title.
Vicki, you get.
Okay, so now it's The Nose, it's the Song of Myself, and it's the Wag.
The Wood, the Weed, the Wag.
What's the title again of the first one?
The Wood, the Weed, the Wag.
Ooh. The Weed, the Wag. I'm going to say it's that one.
You're going to say it is not true that there's a Sir Walter Raleigh poem called The Wood, the Weed, the Wag. Is that your final answer?
Oh, yeah. It's probably wrong.
Probably right.
Well, I'm afraid you are lost in the weeds, Vicki Quade. That is not the correct answer either.
What is it?
Believe it or not. Well, not really, but the Nose. The Nose is a poem written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge and not Sir Walter Raleigh. But in terms of, yes, Walt Whitman had Song of Myself, But way before that, Sir Walter Raleigh had a poem called Song of Myself. It's wonderful. And would you believe, this is, honest to gosh, the opening of Walter Raleigh's Song of Myself is, I was a poet and I did not know it.
No,
The
no.
Poet Know It thing it's a wonderful poem. It's great. And it's short too. It's really, really cool. It's great. So I don't curse Sir Walter. He was not a stupid git at all. Anyway, we have a 0-0 game as we move to round. How the hell am I gonna? Yeah, with 2-2-2 on a tiebreaker. We can do this. Round 2.
We just like playing.
Yeah,
We're obviously not rushing you to, you know.
but I want to remind people it's 11 o'clock in the Daverhood Eastern Time. You're watching the 869th episode of the show. We're calling it Turn, Turn, Turn in honor of our wonderful guest. And we have two more.
Who's your wonderful guest?
Kathleen Turner. My God.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I
I'll
wasn't
watch
going to
it
tell you
later
because I
when
was
you
hoping
post
she
it.
would stay in place. She couldn't,
Oh, when you post it, I will watch it.
Yeah, it'll be, God willing, up. Well, it'll be on Facebook immediately and then up on Dave's Gone By.
What is she doing now that she was on for an interview?
Well, she's been touring her one-person show with music called Finding My Voice, and she's doing it next Saturday in Brooklyn at Kingsborough College. Kingsborough Community College has a big, beautiful auditorium thing, so you can see her there next Saturday night. So go to.
I will be in New Haven next weekend, unfortunately.
Well, not unfortunately. What are you doing? Oh, that's right. You won't be here next week.
No, I'm going up to New Haven for a weekend.
Yay! Family? Or ooh.
It's a long story I may or may not have told you about, but if I decide to relocate, that's where I will relocate.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I am doing an exploratory trip to see how I feel about living there as opposed to loving it from afar.
Got it. Fair enough. All right. Well, I love you guys, and that's why we're going to round 2 of our Today, Yesterday quiz here on Dave's Gone By, live on this October 29th, 2022. Well, this next question goes directly to you, Vicki Quade, and I will say that this is a question about one of the friends of the Daverhood from not that far back. Born in 1938, and it's a change one letter.
Oh, no. All right, let me get a piece of paper.
There we go.
All right. Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Born today is Peter Stamfel, one of Holy Modal's creators. Change one letter of that musical group, and you'll have originators.
Wait, what's the name of the group? Holy Mogul?
Whoa. Here's the deal.
Holy Modal.
Born today is Peter Stamfel, one of Holy Modal's creators. Change one letter of that musical group, and you'll have originators.
Oh, originators. Well, I know this probably should be easy. Change one letter and have originators. And I've been doing Wordle every day. That's not helping.
Since you're both shaking your heads, I will give a clue. I haven't given the full band name, so that's the
Holy Modal, Holy Rounders.
What's the matter with you, Leslie?
She's helping. She's helping her friend.
I thought you were going to give us. I thought you were now going to give us the whole name.
If I do that, that kind of gives away the.
No, not to
The
me.
originators.
Thank you.
I heard you. Well, okay.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give it to Leslie because I cannot figure it
I
out.
bat it back to you. We'll play pickleball with it.
I cannot figure it out. I'm looking at this thinking.
Even if I have Holy Modal Rounders, I don't know what it would be. This doesn't make sense. Oh, Holy Modal Founders. Is that what you're looking for?
Originators.
Originators, Holy Modal Founders. Then it would be right.
Wait.
I got it.
Yeah. So Joyce got Leslie. Remember, it's 1 point for part 1 and 1 point for part 2.
You said.
Well, that would stink. I'll read the poem again, and you may get 1 or 2 points. You may or may not get 1 or 2 points. Born today is Peter Stamfel, one of Holy Modal's creators. Change one letter of that musical group, and you'll have originators.
Holy Modal Founders.
And
I don't know. What's the other part?
you had
Oh,
it.
Holy Modal Rounders. That's the original name. And
And?
Holy Modal Founders.
Go, Leslie. You got
Well,
it.
Leslie, you got it. Excellent. Very good.
Leslie Hoban Blake with 2
She
points.
gets an axolotl.
That's why I went, because you gave
Yes,
it.
please. I want mine in pink, if you don't mind.
Well, yes, you get a pink axolotl. But you also get 2 points, Leslie Hoban Blake, and you're on top. The Rounders, of course, a folk group from the 1960s. And still, well, not really sort of around. And Pete Stanfield, though, still around, and he was on the show last year. All right, we go now directly, though, to Leslie Hoban Blake, who has 2 points and can go for 4, if you're ready.
Not if you throw me one of those things I don't like. You got that look on your face.
Oh, no.
Nope,
3
nope,
news on the clues.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
not this one. The year, again, remember, these are things that happened on October 29th in history. The year
Right.
was 1787. Premiering tonight at the Prague National Theatre is a new opera, Don Giovanni, by Mozart and his librettist Lorenzo da Ponte. Which of these is false about Lorenzo da Ponte? Is it A, he was a priest, B, he was Jewish, C, he was celibate until age 35 when he married his wife, or D, he taught Italian at Columbia?
You're going to hate me. I read the article in the New Yorker about him. I love Lorenzo da Ponte. So the one that's false is that he was celibate. That period. He was a real, even as a priest, that was one of his problems. He loved the ladies.
He was
And
a
he
dog.
lived in my neighborhood. He lived in Chelsea,
Oh.
when I used to live in. He married the daughter of Clement Clark Moore, I believe, which is how he got his job at Columbia. And our property, when my parents had a brownstone, when I was in college, our property was part of the Clement Clark Moore Combine. There's a park on 22nd Street called the Clement Clark Moore Park. The guy who wrote the Santa Claus, The Night Before Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
And he owned plots of land. He has 3 and 4 and 5 houses in a block in Chelsea, all over the place.
Wow.
And so he brought da Ponte over, and he was the one who got him into Columbia. That's how he got his job at Columbia. And yes, he was a priest, but he was a Rasputin kind of priest, and except he didn't, And so that's the answer. I forgot what I said. C is the answer.
Well, I'm afraid you're incorrect. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right. No, that was the other Carlo da Ponte, right?
No, absolutely. And he was born Jewish.
Lorenzo, yeah.
The family was what do you call it? Converso.
They were conversos, yeah.
Yeah. And what else? And when he was a priest, he had a mistress and 2 children with her. In fact, he was accused of helping run a brothel, and they ran him out of Vienna. And then he met his wife, Nancy Grawl, but he never married her, but they did have 4 children. So go Lorenzo.
And then he married the daughter. I'm saying he married the daughter of Clement Clark Moore. I'm not sure where they met. But I'm pretty
this was
sure
after or before Nancy Grawl?
In New York.
Yeah.
You said he never married the other woman. This is in New York.
Wow.
I believe that's what happened. I'm 95% positive.
And you know what kind of car he drove?
No.
A Pontiac. Yes.
Oh, very funny.
A Pontiac.
But he was a colorful character.
Yeah,
really.
Wow.
Well worth the read. You can find it online in the New Yorker from 25 years ago, probably.
I just think
Just
it's
a fascinating guy.
What an amazing thing it must have been, like when he first moved to, and this is not a joke or anything, like I was reading a little bit about him, and this idea that he comes to America, he's giving Italian lessons, he's tutoring Italian, and he set up like a little store for a while until he get his feet. And you just walk into a store somewhere in like New York, and oh, by the way, I wrote an opera with Mozart. I mean, do people even bother? I can't just have Breg. I don't want to hear any Mozart stories. I need a loaf of bread and some cashew butter.
Right.
But I want to tell the story about working with a Mozart.
Right. It's like at a party. It's like, oh God, it's the Mozart story.
It's the Mozart story again, right?
Oh my God. All right, we're into round 3, the final round.
I'm sorry that I knew all of that. I just have
No. That's
great.
The thing. As a matter of fact, it also puts you way on top, Lizzie, with 4 points. So, Vicki, you've got your work cut out for you in this round.
All right.
Yeah, come on, Vicki. Come on, take me on.
I
Come
can
on.
get at least 2 points. Come on.
Yeah,
You
come
can-
on.
Well, here you go, Vicki. The year was 1947.
Okay.
Happy 75th birthday today to Richard Dreyfuss,
Aw.
born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens. Which of these is false about the star of Jaws, The Goodbye Girl, Mr. Holland's Opus, and The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz? I said Duddy. A.
One
he
of my
auditioned-
favorites.
Is it? Well, anyway. He auditioned for a role as one of the children in the original Broadway Sound of Music. B. He was Bob Fosse's first choice to star in All That Jazz, but he quit during rehearsals. C. He was Alan Parker's first choice to play Billy in Midnight Express, but his agent made him turn the film down because it was too dark. Or D. He was supposed to play Max Bialystock when the producers opened in London, but he pulled out at the last moment.
Hmm.
Which of these is
Could you
false?
please repeat A and B? My mind wandered. Joyce.
Hi, Joyce. Hi, Joyce. is dead.
Oh my head.
But this is Vicky's question. Listen, this is not your question. This is Vicky's question.
Okay, sorry. I'm very sorry for interrupting.
No. That's
Okay.
fine. Geez, almost any of those could be true. And I'm not an expert. I mean, I love Richard Dreyfuss. His work. I never met him, but I love his work. Okay, so I hate to
I'll read
ask
them.
you,
Yeah.
read them again.
I'll read them again. So, happy 75th birthday today to Richard Dreyfuss, star of a whole bunch of movies. Which of these is false about him and his acting career, if you will?
Right.
A. He auditioned for a role as one of the children in the original Broadway Sound of Music. B. He was Bob Fosse's first choice to star in All That Jazz, but he quit during rehearsals. C. He was Alan Parker's first choice to play Billy in Midnight Express, but his agent made him turn the film down because it was too dark. Or D. He was supposed to play Max Bialystock when the producers opened in London, but he pulled out at the last moment.
I'm gonna say the second one. All That Jazz.
So you're going to say it is not true that he was supposed to be in the movie All That Jazz, but quit in rehearsals.
Yes,
Final answer?
probably wrong.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. Yeah, no, that's actually true. I can tell the story. Dreyfuss, because they did Jaws together, he was good friends with Roy Scheider, and he was in rehearsals for about a week doing All That Jazz. And he said, I don't get along with Bob Fosse. He doesn't get along with me. And the role ended up going famously to Roy Scheider, who killed it. He was great in the film. But let's we have a steal.
I can't imagine Roy Scheider not having been the first choice because he was so perfect.
Right.
Yes.
So perfect. I thought that was the one too, because I don't think he can dance. I saw him in a couple of things live, and the physique. I saw him in Goodbye Girl. I don't remember him dancing in Goodbye Girl.
Yeah, no. He has short
Oh
legs.
no, he wasn't in that. Was he in that?
Yes.
He was in the movie. He was in the movie. He
But
was not
Bernadette
the
Peters
same
and
thing.
who else was it? Martin Short? Who co-starred with Bernadette Peters?
Yeah, Martin Short might have done it. Yeah. Well, Martin Short did when they made it a musical. It was a
Right.
play before it was a musical.
Oh, way back in the right.
Yeah, and so
No, it's a
I'm not
movie.
sure I'm not sure if he did the play or not.
Marsha
I
Mason
know he
was in
did
the movie.
Amazing.
Anyway,
Anyway.
moving on.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have one of the children of Sound of Music, Billy or Max Bialystock. I would have loved to have seen him as Max Bialystock. Would have been a very different. Okay, I'm lost here because I really thought it was B. And I think it's totally feasible that he could have come out if he lived in Brooklyn. He would have, and he was a little kid who wanted to be in the theater, or he had a pushy mother. Either one, he would have been up for the. It was the children in Sound of Music, and then it was the children in King of Siam. I mean, Anne and the King of Siam, and the King and I. And in those days, they would just paint little things on your eyes, and then he could have been in it. So
That's what I do every morning just to keep.
I
them
know,
Yeah.
and I all over my face. I do that, and everything. I'm just bumping. I'll say Billy in Midnight. That's probably wrong. I'll go for C.
You're going to say that it is false that he was Alan Parker's first choice to play Billy in Midnight Express.
Yes, even though the last one was a C, I'll go for C.
Well, Leslie Hoban Blake, you have taken the express train to victory because you get 2 more points. You've already essentially nailed victory.
Nailed this.
In 5 questions, Leslie. Here's the deal. Richard Dreyfuss did audition to play Friedrich in The Sound of Music, the original one. I don't know if it was I think it was for the original, even before there were, multi,
right,
because it ran so long. And what else? Oh, and he was supposed to be the first Max Bialystock in London, but he had back problems and surgery, and he's I can't do it. I can't physically do it. So, well done, Leslie. We have 2 more questions anyway, but they don't really matter. But you can build upon your lead and get 2 more points. And Leslie, guess what?
Sorry, I wasn't.
Oh, no.
I'm not really.
Oh no,
Vicky,
Leslie! It's
really...
3 news in the clue. 3 clues in the news.
No. Vicky can have that. Let Vicky have that.
No, Leslie.
No,
it's all yours.
Here, Vicky, take it. Please,
No,
my
you
friend,
take
take
it.
it.
Yours. No, it's
I'll tell you
yours.
what. I'll tell you, since it's meaningless anyway. Let's
So
do
Work
it.
together. We'll try to do it together.
I just saw 1776. That music is in my head. No,
Got
you
it.
take it. You. I could go out and play that role now.
Oh, we're going to do it, but I may throw it open to both of you simultaneously.
All right,
Good.
go ahead. Do it.
Whoever gets it first, just whoever gets the question, just
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
figure it out.
Okay.
3 clues in the news, and you know what this is. It's 3 words not connected to each other, each connected to the word we're looking for,
They
which
know.
is something in the news. They know.
These
they
women know. These women know.
Oh, we might have some new viewers. Kathleen Turner could be
That's
watching
true.
right now. So I
That's
could have been playing this, and
No,
no,
you're right.
What happened to the other guy?
Vicky.
he can't make
Is he
it.
okay?
He's fine. He's fine, but there was some bad news. I'm
Oh,
not gonna-
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing about Aaron.
What? Who?
Aaron Marshita, nothing about it. Never mind. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't. All I'm
Just-
saying is I got a message from Ricky Ritzel. He's not able to make it. There's a
Okay.
reason. And he's fine,
Good.
but there's a reason.
Okay.
Here's the question. 3 clues in the news. Almond crossing river.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
Yeah.
Almond.
Think biblical.
Thanks for the hint.
I think biblical for river.
Jordan. It's Jordan.
Vicky got it.
Making the guy. And do we know why?
Jordan Almond. This is what got it.
Drunk Almonds, Crossing Jordan, the TV show.
Right. In the River Jordan.
And the news, one of our friends of the Daverhood also,
Very
who
sad.
passed this week, Leslie
Very
Jordan. was
Leslie-
killed.
Leslie- Jordan.
Oh, yes. How sad.
Yeah.
Car accident, right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a friend of the Daverhood, but he's sad anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's
it's-
terrible.
it was
He
such a
apparently
sweet. Yeah.
He
Sorry.
said that he was not feeling good for a few days. He was
He
having
got hit by a car.
no, he
With
was
what?
having breathing problems,
I
and
thought it said he was in a car crash.
yeah, he crashed his car into a
Oh,
wall.
I see. I didn't
Oh.
know.
Mm.
He was
I didn't
having
follow up.
breathing
I got you.
problems, and he was on his way to that cat show, that he was in, and he had an episode, heart attack.
Oh, the
something.
cat show with what's her name? Yeah, with the one from Jeopardy.
Maya Bialik, yeah.
Right.
He was on his way there,
I
and
didn't,
he had
I didn't get the follow up. I only heard that he was in a car crash. I
That's
didn't
so
realize.
sad.
That is such a terrible prescription for a doctor to give. If you're not feeling well, crash your car into a wall. It's not. I would just give him a pill or something or an inhaler.
This is
Here's the thing, though. You could consider him a hero
Yeah.
because he may have realized that he was passing out, and he could have hit people or caused. He may have crashed into that wall.
Well,
Simply
that would
to,
be a nice way to think of him.
He just went
He
sort
was
of.
a sweet little man.
Yeah. No, that's an awful shame. So
A lot of people fall asleep at the wheel, like not just health stuff, but people get
Right.
drowned and they veer off the road and they hit something. That's horrible.
What was he
right.
doing when he was on the show, Dave?
I don't know if he was doing Southern Baptist or some kind of his one-person thing.
think
It was a few
Oh,
years.
okay.
It was like
Okay.
5 years ago.
I think
but-
it was his one.
Yeah, that was his one-person show, probably.
yeah.
I love that he made his debut at the Grand Ole Opry just a couple of years ago, I think. He had a gospel album.
Did not know that.
No.
See, you know all about him.
He performed with Dolly Parton. She
What-
made a lovely little comment after his death.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought you said she made him a lovely little sweater or something.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
No,
right.
but I gotta say the thing about him, if you're on my Facebook feed, when I see people's postings, he's one of those people when they die, everybody's got a picture with him. Everybody's got Leslie Jordan. You just scroll and scroll, and it's like Leslie Jordan. Here's us when we were there. Oh, he was such a sweetie. He was such a, it's really nice, and nobody's sort of faking it or leaving bad stories out. It's kind of like he just was.
Yeah.
Somebody
Will you
everybody
make sure to
enjoyed.
do that for me, Dave?
Oh, absolutely.
But make sure I get some nice quotes.
Oh, here, wait, I'll do a photo right
Do
now.
it right
Hold on.
now. Yes, that's
Smile, 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 and we'll do a couple photos. Are we
okay, sure.
okay? 1, 2, 3, smile. I'll do a couple because I have no idea what they look like until I actually go through them. So, okay, one more to you.
Big eyes, smile.
Excellent. How about that? It'll be good.
Oh, that was lovely.
Thank you
Thank
very
you. Thank you, Vicki.
Okay.
Hey, I will say nice things about you, Vicki. No question.
Oh,
about
thank goodness. Somebody will.
And Leslie, you too, of course.
Thank
I
you
would
so
say
much.
Leslie was a runaway winner of our today.
Yeah.
Run away,
Wait,
Leslie.
but at
Yes,
least I got
okay.
2 points. Thank you.
Well, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
you.
I'm very
Well, hold on.
surprised.
It was all Joyce with that biblical. Thank
The
you.
truth
Joyce.
is, I got up so early this morning that I fell asleep and woke up like 5 minutes before time. That's why I was late. I was here. I had my machine was all ready, and I sat down and went like that. I ate some
Welcome
breakfast.
to
and I-
aging,
No,
Leslie.
you know what it was? For Leslie, it was that REM sleep. She got that deep sleep.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I got a really quick power nap, and then I came back, and
Exactly. The brain was like, I'm ready.
But guess
it's
what?
on, right?
The fun is not yet quite over because we
Oh,
haven't done
boy.
our tiebreaker, which is not a tiebreaker, but we're going to do a tiebreaker. Ooh.
We're gonna do a if then tiebreaker. It could have been
Oh.
tiebreaker.
No, this is more of a typical. It's a fill in the blank tiebreaker.
Oh.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
You can write it down, Bob. Show it to the yeah. Okay.
They know the deal.
The year was 1938. Happy birthday. Was there another person who was born
I
in
think
38?
you did 38.
No, that was 47 was Dreyfus. This is
No,
1938.
38 was the Holy Modal Rounders.
Yes.
Oh, so born on the same, you're right. Born on the same day as Peter Stamfel.
Because I'm listening.
You are. Somebody else, though. Happy birthday to this groundbreaking animator whose films American Pop and Lord of the Rings brought some heavy traffic to the box office, even as some of his projects went on the fritz. Name that director.
Oh, it's a director. Because you said he was an animator, but he's a director.
And...
Born in 1938.
Yeah,
Animator. Oh, could you read it again? I'm sorry.
of course. Born today, 1938. Happy birthday to this groundbreaking animator whose films, American Pop and Lord of the Rings, brought some heavy traffic to the box office, even as some of his projects went on the fritz. Name that director. Hold on, don't show yet.
Wow. Lord of the Rings. Oh. Okay, hold on.
Pardon me.
Is it?
Thank
Okay,
you.
got it.
All right. This is it. This is for no point. No,
All
nothing.
the marbles. This is for all the marbles.
That's
For
all the
nothing.
Halloween candy.
All the axolotls.
Oh,
Yes, right.
the winner gets axolotls. The other is like Charlie Brown. You get a bag of rocks for Halloween.
No, it's like when you go for trick or treating, it's the chocolate was the main thing, and then all like the licorice and everything
Oh,
else was like,
yes.
The apples. Who wants an apple in your bag?
I have to
You know?
color a pumpkin and put it on my door so that the people in the building will stop. But because of right, I have to put one of those out. But the thing is, because kids are coming down with this horrible thing now, I don't want to interact with children.
OSV, yeah.
So I'm going to put it outside with a note saying, please take one, leave some for somebody else. That's
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I will
Like, that's
open
gonna
the door
work.
to look at their costumes, but I
Please.
don't want to have to interact. I know the whole thing is they want to show off their costumes. I understand that, but
No, they want candy.
They really want candy.
Yeah.
no, they want two things, especially the little ones. The little ones really want to show off
Mm.
their little costumes. So I
Okay.
will open the door and say, "Oh, what a wonderful costume!" Take something and close the door.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what I'll
here,
have to do.
we did that here in our building. I live on the top floor of a 3-flat. We
Oh,
put
you're
a
wearing
table.
orange as well. Look, you sat back.
Yeah, I
These
got
ones
the
are
thing. I
sartorially
got it.
excellent.
You know,
He's dressed
So
for
what, you put a
Halloween.
table in the hallway? Is that the deal?
we
You
put it.
yeah,
We put a little
yeah.
table in the hallway. We had a nice, Halloween basket. We had candy and a little sign saying, help, please take one and leave some for others.
Leave some for somebody else, right?
We
Help
walked
yourself,
out.
leave some.
We got just one store, one house front, and I was like, oh man, I forgot something. And the kids came running into our lobby, and I thought, oh, it's going to work. As I came back in the lobby to get whatever I needed, they were dumping the entire thing
Into their
into-
baskets.
And I said, leave something for someone else. And they said, screw you.
really?
How old were
And I
they?
thought, okay, I'm never doing that again.
How old were they?
Yeah.
Oh, some of them were like 8, 9, but there were
Right.
a couple.
What was
there
the
were a couple who were like,
Yeah.
This is
Well,
Chicago.
they
It's
were
not-
the
they
oldest
an
was maybe
adult?
14. That was the oldest was.
Oh, 14.
dumping.
But she looked like 8-year-old. Screw you.
No, in our building, usually it's younger kids and they go around with an adult, and so that wouldn't happen. It didn't happen here. I've put
Wow.
stuff out before.
Yeah.
This is the first time we're having it.
But we couldn't leave it outside because the
Pandemic.
squirrels would get it.
For a couple of hours. Anyway, 10
Yeah,
o'clock.
the
Well,
No.
they would say screw you. They would say nuts to you.
That's no, but yeah, it's squirrel. Squirrels.
Thank
No,
you.
in Chicago, you gotta
Thank
be careful,
you.
Vicky, because they'll come back with guns. This is Chicago.
Oh God!
If
You
go
never
to the
know.
thing-
You got to be really
No,
careful.
that's
these
New
days.
York. They'll come back with
Take
guns.
it.
What's the answer?
Right, take the candy.
What's the
Take
answer?
the bowl. Let's
Okay.
take it all. Leave the
All right, here we
cannoli.
go.
Okay,
Let's get back. Let's finish up the.
I've got my name written down. You
Yeah,
want
All right,
to
me
see
too.
I'll read the question again. The question is, the year was 1938. Ooh, happy birthday to this groundbreaking animator whose films American Pop and Lord of the Rings brought some heavy traffic to the box office, even as some of his projects went on the fritz. Name that director. 3, 2, 1.
Ralph,
Leslie Scoggett, Ralph Bakshi.
I have Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh,
You don't get away. You don't get away free on this one, though. I have a Ralph Bakshi film.
Because he does
story.
everything.
Well,
I have a Ralph Bakshi film story.
Oh, go ahead.
My kid, when at some point, Fritz the Cat, which is the Fritz that he was referring to, which
Right.
was a dirty,
Oh, yeah.
considered
I
a
just
dirty,
could not
X-rated cartoon,
remember the name, but
as
I
was
knew it.
Heavy Traffic.
Right.
But because it was Fritz the Cat, my son thought it was Felix the Cat, and he wanted to go see it. It was an X-rated cartoon.
yes.
Right.
Oh no!
Because it was playing at the Elgin, famed for midnight movies and other craziness, and was the home of things like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We got, and my ex-husband and I were together at the time. Together, we came up with this evil plan where we painted a little mustache on him, put him in a tie with a jacket and pants, and gave him a cigar. And we said he was a midget. And we took him in to see the movie. I swear to God, this is what we did. Oh, like that. And it
And
worked.
it worked.
I don't think they would have cared. I think we could have taken him in just the way he was, and they
Yeah.
wouldn't have said a word. But it was a midnight movie, first of all, so it meant we kept him up after midnight. I don't know. He was maybe 11. I don't know how old he was exactly, but he was too young and too small to really go see this. But we never censored anything. If he wanted to watch stuff, I mean, there was nothing in it that he couldn't see. That was my feeling.
It was a
And
cartoon. Even if it was cartoon sex. It was still.
And it was a
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as pornographic. It was more violent than it was pornographic. It had a lot of early kind of video violence in it that we became used to later.
Yeah.
I remember some guy stopping me.
Yeah.
For some reason, I took him to see The Last Detail. Remember that movie, The Last
With Marsha
Detail?
Mason. We were just talking about that.
Randy Quaid, and
Jack
I
Nicholson.
was talking about Jack Nicholson, right? I don't know if I don't know what the reason I took him was, but I took him, and it was after school. It was like 3:30, and he was under 12. So I paid a children's price. So this was a movie house, a small movie house in the neighborhood where in the afternoon, there was a chief cook and bottle washer. He sold the popcorn, he took the tickets, then he ran around and tore the tickets,
Yeah.
So literally he was a little old guy. And so he sold me the ticket. He didn't question it. He sold me the ticket. It was a child's ticket. But when he came to tearing the ticket, he said, "Lady, are you sure you want to take this child to see this movie?" I said, "Why? What's in it?" He said, "Well, there's stuff in it." He said, "There's a lot of bad language." I said, "Do they put anybody's eye out with a sword?" He said, "No." I said, "Then there's nothing that he lives in New York. There's nothing he hasn't heard, So tear the ticket. Let's go in, And that was the end of that. I mean,
Wow.
No, but I remember.
But I thought-
I remember. Actually, I do have a story. It's not about Bakshi or that, but we got to see a film, kind of a G-rated, all kind of family film. Could have been Oliver. I mean, we saw Oliver a couple of times, but then it was like a double, and they let us stay. So we went, why? Let's see whatever other movies on there. And I think it was Liza Minnelli in The Sterile Cuckoo or something like that. And in the first 5 minutes, I think she gets raped. And my parents look at me, and I look at my parents like they're just kind of like, let's just go now. And it was too late. I've turned into a rapist myself. But if I had not seen those 5 minutes of Liza, it's just
My grandmother and mother took me to see Hair when I was like 8.
the movie is here.
Yeah.
Well, my mother took me to see a double bill. It was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Oh.
And it was on a double bill with Elfie.
Wow.
Alfie, what's it all about, Alfie?
Oh,
Yes, and there's the
Alfie,
abortion
okay,
scene
right.
in Elfie, if you remember correctly.
Right.
Right.
So
So I go to school on Monday, and the nun says, "So what did you do? Everyone, what'd you do over the weekend?" "Oh, we mowed the lawn and we did this." And this." But I went to the movies, and she goes, "Oh, what did you see?" And I said, "Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?" and Elfie. Well, it was seconds later that she was out the door to the office. She wanted them to call my mother.
No.
And social services, no doubt. That's the whole point.
How did you like them, by the way? How did you like Who's
I
Afraid of
didn't
Virginia
understand
Woolf?
the abortion scene. I didn't understand it. She didn't explain it to me.
That's
I
the
just-
thing. When
know.
the kids see this stuff, it goes over their heads what they don't get.
yeah,
But
I
they
didn't get
stay
it.
with the movie.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was just a lot of people shouting at each other.
Shouting and
seemed
I
like-
bet you got nothing out of that. A lot of
Elfie-
noise, black and white.
I thought he was charming. Michael Caine. He talks to the.
Yes.
He talks
yes,
right to the camera, which was
Right.
kind of. I hadn't seen that, so I liked
Right.
that. So I liked it and didn't understand it at my level. So
Exactly.
And yet,
And it
there was
meant
the
your mother
influence-
didn't have to get a babysitter, so it worked out for
That's right.
everybody.
But notice the influence there. Maybe as a kid, you're watching this movie, and suddenly they break the fourth wall, and it's like the actor in character
Oh,
talking
you
to
think
the,
it is?
and here you
Yeah.
are, all these years later, and what do you do?
I do it all the time. Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder. I really wonder. Anyway, it has been wonderful.
Okay, Dr. Freud.
More like Dr. Fraud, if you think about it.
Young Dr. Jung.
But it's been absolutely wonderful playing our yesterday trivia quiz with Vicki, Quade. Now, remember, you can go to nunsforfun.com to get tickets to, well, there's a benefit this weekend for Holy Ghost, but are you doing like a regular show thing? Or
For
also?
booking. Oh yeah, we're after this weekend. I bring back my game show. Are you smarter than your 8th grade nun?
Oh, yeah.
Just for 3 weeks, and then we're doing Christmas bingo
Oh,
for the rest of the year.
sorry. This is all at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. So by all means, get your tickets. Go, go, go. Because as Vicki was saying, it's a pandemic. It's tough to get people in the seats. So
But I'm
come-
booking like crazy. I'm coming to Maryland. I've got 2 bookings in the Maryland area.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, so-
wow.
I will be letting you know when and
Please.
where and all that stuff.
Maybe we can all go to an outdoor restaurant or something.
That'd be
And
great.
just
I'd
hang.
love
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
And Leslie, you're going to be in Connecticut next week, but Leslie Hoban Blake, you are part of Two on the Aisle, the theater review and commentary program that people can watch on YouTube or on Manhattan Neighborhood
We
Network.
just put up our 1776.
Right.
Leopoldstadt's in the can, but it isn't edited yet.
All right.
And we also did Death of a Salesman, but it's not edited yet. So
I might as well ask you, since we have like 2-3 more minutes, because I saw when I was in New York, I saw 1776. So I'm curious of it's an all-female version of the musical by Peter Stone and I forget the composer.
Sherman,
Sherman.
Roger Sherman.
Roger Sherman. What did you think of this iteration?
Do you really want to know? And I don't think it came out clearly in the show. I don't think I actually made my point. I think we wound up editing it out because other things were wrong with it. So I'd really like a chance to say what I thought. I think it's a perfectly fine thing to try. I see nothing wrong with giving it a shot. I've seen a lot of all-female Shakespeare. It works 99% of the time. There were other things that they did to the play that I was very upset about. I was upset about some of the orchestrations. And it's not because I'm a purist, it's because this play was so perfect as it was to me. I still watch the movie every year not just on the 4th of July, I watch it in February, I don't care. I love that movie. And I get very nostalgic and I feel things about it. It makes me cry. I watched it in London once with a British audience. Okay. Does it work with all women? It could. I don't think it did. I think Diane Paulus decided to make it say other things than it was meant to say. It says what it meant to say. It talks about slavery. It talks about it very powerfully for the time. It doesn't represent women. It's very sweet about Abigail Adams. And the note that they put in was not in the original play. They had left it out in the original play. The thing that she says about the women, John, if you don't take responsibility for us, we may revolt. That's not in the original script. They added that. It's from her. She actually wrote that, but they didn't use it the first time around. I guess they thought, why go sideways, All right. So my point is, I think it was a one-trick pony. That's a phrase I used in this. I think it's the idea of they can, but should they? Yes, they should. But they should do it, and please, Joyce, forgive me. They should do it the way Lin-Manuel Miranda did the casting in Hamilton. I know. Take the whole thing I'm saying. What he did in Hamilton was, the dreaded Lin-Manuel Miranda. What he did was to make it normal. He normalized whatever it was that he was doing. He didn't say black person playing Washington, black person playing Aaron Bear. He didn't do that. He made it, these are the best talents that we have to sing these songs, and there they are. And this could have been done too. When those women stepped into those shoes, which is a very clever little gimmick, that's all they had to do. I didn't mind, I minded that Jefferson was pregnant, but only because Jefferson was the object of lust from his wife. And so it looked kind of strange. Plus, that Jefferson was a very small person. But again, they did heights, they did sizes. I understand what she was doing. I get it. Or as Charlie said, they were woke. But it was enough to let them be women. Just cast women and see what happens.
Yeah.
It could have been a very interesting and well done thing. And as it turned out, it wasn't for me. It was
I got tired of being sort of lectured. They're literally, they stop a scene in the middle. They change the house lights so that they you can see the rest of the audience, and they all sort of look at us and like lecture to us for like 2 minutes. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
The play itself was such a powerful lesson. The play itself taught the historical perspective so well. I used to say that every class of almost every age should see it at least one teacher, and glean from it what they can, because they'd enjoy the music and they'd enjoy the rest of it. And then at the end, to put in that montage of all the evils of slavery over the years. Beat me over the head once, fine, but beat me over the head all the time and then do it at the
then you
end.
become Paul Pelosi. No, but
and then they go to public. So thank you for letting me have a chance to be a little more.
No, I wanted to talk about, because I didn't do an Inside Broadway segment today, and it was one of the two things that I got to see when I was in New York. And
what else did you see?
Well, I reviewed on the show when I was there. It was a play. It was all right. It was what non-musical thing did I see that I talked about? And I don't.
Well, there was Death of a Salesman.
No.
There was Leopoldstadt.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. No. It was at Manhattan Theater Club. It was.
Oh, I'm
Friedman.
gonna go see it. I haven't seen it yet. It's about immigrants or something.
I don't even. This is the impression that it made on me.
Oh, cost of living. Wait, but cost of living.
Cost of yeah.
Cost of living. Oh, no, I liked it. I remember that scene. We talked about that. I remember that scene in the
we talked about
bathtub.
that.
Yeah.
But I was supposed to take a piano lesson and they had COVID, so that I didn't have to. I
Right.
didn't get to see it. So anyway,
Right.
guys, it's been absolutely a delight having you as always on Dave's Gone By, playing the Today Yesterday quiz. Vicki, Quade,
What is that crinkling noise?
That's
That's
big white.
Joyce having pretzels because
I'm
we're starving.
I
Yeah.
had my apple, but I needed something, so he's got pretzels. I'm eating pretzels.
But yeah, no, the crinkling noise is bats.
Wondering.
Sweet for Halloween.
Where's it coming from?
Enjoy your Halloween, guys. Have a wonderful
Yeah.
day.
Totally.
Love you guys. Have a good one.
You too.
I won't see
See
you
you
next
in a
week.
couple
guys.
of weeks.
Couple of weeks. See you then.
All
Bye.
right.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Here on Dave's
care.
Gone
Bye-bye.
By. See you soon. But and hold on. Let me just bye, Mickey. Oh, there we go. And we're back. I'm back with more of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream here in the Daverhood Live on this October 29th, 2022. So we've had so much fun today. We've had Rabbi Sal Solomon
I'm
in
crinkling.
talking with Kathleen Turner. We had our Today Yesterday trivia quiz. We talked a bit about what did we talk about? Plant-based hamburgers, which I did enjoy. I didn't get to ask Leslie, or we lost another friend of the day about 2 weeks ago, press agent Susan Schulman, and she would have known her too.
So know her, yeah.
We miss her as well. Well, what else do we have to do on the show? Not much. We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to talk about. Yeah, I know, you're switching off your computers just as I even say that. But we do. We're going to go to Gateway, Colorado. Gateway, Colorado for a horrible poem, and also our friends in the Daverhood. But I was thinking about this, about Halloween, how it's changed so much since I was a kid. I think mostly for the worse. Because we were talking about, the bags outside.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that when we were kids, we had a lot of trick-or-treating, which I found it made no sense because you wore a costume, you got your costume on, and then it was freezing, so you had to put a coat. So to me, I never understood. It's like,
Because it's October.
You make all this time, like, putting your costume,
I forgot about
and then you
this.
wear a coat. And then people just see your coat, and then you go to people's houses and you beg for stuff. Like, I never liked it. Now, the children go to parties. I'd much rather go to a Halloween party
I guess.
where you get candy and you're inside and you can see the costume. I'd much prefer that.
I forgot about the idea that it's October 31st.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it probably doesn't make a difference in Alabama.
No, but I remember wearing an A&S pleather coat with a furry hood over my costume, and people would say, "What are you?" And I would go like this. Woo, look at my costume. I did not like it. And going around, like, my neighbor had 5 kids. We went with them. Another neighbor had 2. There's like 10 kids walking around. Like, I'm like,
I never really liked it
No.
either, but a little bit nostalgic. I mean, I obviously raised Jewish, and yet somehow my parents kind of were okay with trick or treat. And I remember very fondly, like Mom and Dad.
going through
Every year we would
candy.
have a pumpkin,
Oh.
and the mess of trying to carve a face into a pumpkin. If I couldn't begin to tell you.
I loved
But
it.
it was fun. It was actually kind of, but and then and also of course the magnificent thing as I got a little older was the best day of the year if you like sweets is November 1st
Oh,
because then you
yeah.
run to the supermarket, you run to the Duane Reade or the Rite Aid, and it's like suddenly the candy that was back in the day was probably $1.99
Yes.
was now 80 cents. And it would stay good for
Yeah, but
months.
We learned about that. Now they kind of outsource it or something.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Back when I was growing up, or even 20, 30 years ago, the day after Halloween, you hit the stores, and the whole week after Halloween, the candy that would be 50% off the day after was 80% off 3 days later. And it was the same Snickers. It was the same Hershey. It's like, I'm grabbing. For $10, you literally have snacks for half a year. It's the most wonderful thing. And then a few years ago, suddenly it's like, they do this thing now. Like probably 10:59 p.m. on Halloween night. They get the people in there, They take all the candy away except for like one little shelf, and on the Christmas shit goes up, and there it is. And it's like no sale, no, not, a couple of candy corn bags are 60% off, and it's like, and you would go from house to house in the old trick or treating thing, and the old myth of people putting razor blades and things, and it's like, no, it was, but then it became like this commercial thing, and if TV even acknowledged Halloween, they might do like a monster movie, like Frankenstein and Mothra, Godzilla, Day of the Trippids or something. Now, you could. Thank goodness we don't even have cable anymore.
But a horror movie.
Because you put on the cable tonight, it's going to be Saw. It's going to be Scream. There's going to be these things that keep you awake all night because they're really actually terrifying films.
Yeah.
Like really, truly, scary, sadistic movies on Halloween, and the commercials are scary. And it's like, I won't be watching TV the whole month of October.
Yeah.
With that, and then it also became this thing of not even little kids trick or treating because they're afraid to. Not even COVID, because people are crazy and you don't let kids walk. So drag the kid to a front door. But it became about teenagers and college kids dressing up and creating trouble and havoc and getting drunk and getting pregnant and whatever else. So you're living in a college town. I remember we were in Boston one weekend for Halloween. And there's just all these students like Berkeley School of Music and Boston U, and they're just running around in costumes and stuff. Never causing any trouble, but it's just like, and some of the girls, they're in sexy nurse costumes. I'm like, okay.
No, but I think it's a time when you can be something other than you are, and that's exciting for people.
That's why we have Purim. That's why. That's why the Jews really shouldn't be on All Hallows Eve getting dressed and everything. We have Purim.
It's pagan.
It's pagan. All right. But anywho, so I don't know. This whole, for me, Halloween now is just you have to. You're afraid not to buy candy because if you don't, your house is going to get egged or toilet paper. So you do have to buy the candy, and then whom do you give it to and how much do you buy, and then you have to buy it when. And we'll say this. I mean. Some places around this time of year, of course, they're going to charge full price for bags of candy, but they still, you'll still have at Walgreens and Rite Aid, buy one bag, get one half price, which is kind of cool, except for like one bag of 12 ounces of candy is now $4.50, right? Well, it used to be $1.99. So yes, they make it more economical to buy more, but it's still already twice of what that candy is actually worth or what you were paying for it, 5 years ago. I'm old. I've gotten old. That's what it is. But there's just something about, I don't know. People complain about the commercialization of Christmas. And of course, in my view, when they have Christmas starting the day after Halloween, and I'm not Christian, it's a real annoyance. And it's real, oh, God, leave me alone, right? But with Halloween, it's just this, and they've done it with Halloween, right? We know that even before like Labor Day, sometime in the middle of August, right? They've got their back to school stuff out, and all the Halloween stuff appears on the shelves. Halloween is October 31st. We all know this, and yet here's bats and jack-o'-lanterns and plastic pumpkins and decorations and witch hats. And it's, it's August 26th. It's the middle of summer. What the hell are they doing? This is what I don't like it. Ooh, it makes me, that's what it makes me. Anywho, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. We're live here 2 days from Halloween, here in the Daverhood. We have one more item to do for you. It is our poem. It is our Colorado Limerick of the Dam. But just before we get to that, I do want to do some thank yous and some happy memories of people who have been on this program in years past. Well, for example, obviously we're very grateful to Vicki, Quade, and to Leslie Hoban Blake for being with us in the Daverhood and playing the Today Yesterday quiz, plus to Rabbi Saul Solomon, our friend of the Daverhood who was on our very first program, and our new friend of the Daverhood, Kathleen Turner. Go see her next Saturday. on stage at Kingsborough College. It's over in, what is the Oxford section of Brooklyn? Do you know where that Kingsborough is?
I don't know, Kingsborough. I would think. I mean, I'll look it up, but it's in Brooklyn.
It's in Brooklyn. Go find it. It's in Brooklyn. If you're in New York, go to Brooklyn. If you're in Connecticut, go to Brooklyn.
You can look on a subway map.
If you're in Ottumwa, Iowa, go look it up. It's in Brooklyn. So, but it's next Saturday. She's doing her show, Finding My Voice. She's singing. She's also telling stories from her life and career. She's been doing it. She's got it down now. She's been developing this for 5 years. So it is where it is, and it's ready to be seen and enjoyed. It's Finding My Voice with our friend, Kathleen Turner, in the Daverhood. So she is now a friend of the Daverhood. We're going to keep tabs on what else she's doing in her life and career. If she's these other movies that she mentioned, other TV things, other performance things. If she does the Molly Ivins thing again, we'll let you know, because these are the friends of the Daverhood. So yes, friends of the Daverhood are people who have been on this program in months or years past, and now they're doing other things. For example, I want to send congratulations out to author Anne Grayson, who won the Firebird Book Award for her book Birdwatcher. So congratulations, Anne. Also, congratulations to Jeff Harner, the cabaret guy. His cabaret, he's a cabaret guy, but he has a CD out. It's called I Know Things Now, and it is on the preliminary ballot for the Grammy Awards. So yay to Jeff Harner. And yay to Andrew Farris. Let's take that down. Andrew Farris, he was one of the founders of the band In Excess, internationally famous band. He's now doing country pop music, and he's released a single called You Are My Rock, and it has cracked the country Billboard Top 40. So yay for Andrew Farris. Now, letting you know that tomorrow, Jason Gra is doing Greatest Hits. His cabaret show is at the Green Room.
It doesn't say, it just gives you the address of it,
Yeah, where is it?
Kingsborough. It doesn't say public.
Well, what is the address?
University.
We can read it out and let
It's
people know.
Oriental Boulevard. It says CUNY. It's the only city community college and campus, only community college, and it's located in Manhattan Beach. It says.
I don't know where that is.
Which overlooks Sheepshead Bay, Jamaica Bay, and the Atlantic Ocean.
Nice.
So that's where it is. It's not.
So make a day of it. Everybody go.
Yeah, Sheepshead Bay, Jamaica Bay, and the Atlantic Ocean.
Ah, all right. So check out Kathleen Turner tomorrow at Kingsborough Community College. But also check out Jason Gra at the Green Room 42 in Manhattan, and he's also live streaming it. So if you can, if you're pandemic afraid or you've got other things to do, but you want to be home, you can live stream Jason Gra doing Greatest Hits at the Green Room, and that is happening tomorrow, October 30th. On November 3rd, Tammy Faye Starlight will be singing Jagger and Richard songs at Pangea. That is over on 2nd Avenue and 11th Street. And also, starting on on November 3rd, off-Broadway at the Vineyard Theater, it's David Cale's new play, Sandra. Go see it. Playing now through the end of October. Now to the end of October is tomorrow. So today and tomorrow.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, right? The New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players, they are still around, and Albert Bergeret is still their founder and main conductor. And he will be conducting Gilbert and Sullivan's The Gondoliers, and this is at the K Playhouse in Hunter College. And the kind of cool thing is they postponed The Gondoliers twice over the past 2 years because of the pandemic. It is finally happening. So if you want to see people who've been doing Gilbert and Sullivan for decades and make it very fun and very lively, see The Gondoliers from NIGASP with Albert Bergeret conducting. That is at Hunter College in their K Playhouse. Douglas McGrath's play, Everything's Fine, staged by John Lithgow, of all people. That is being done off-Broadway, playing now for a limited run. And oh, honey.
What?
Give us some noise. Alert! Guess who?
Pendleton.
Yes, Austin Pendleton.
Pendleton is always up to something.
He's directing Sarah Treem's play The How and the Why, taking place at the Sheen Center on Bleecker Street now through the first week of November. And congratulations also to our friend Jill Sobule. She wrote and appears in her autobiographical show. It's called Fuck 7th Grade. I think we know what that's about. It's been extended through November 19th. It's gotten some really, really good reviews. And you can go see it at the Wild Project on East 3rd Street with Jill Sobule. And then, playing now through the end of November and probably well into the new year, but too early to say, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano at Birdland doing songs, doing cabaret. Comstock and Fasano, birdlandjazz.com for tickets every Saturday night at 5:30. So go see them tonight. Lonnie Price is directing Walking with Ghosts. We mentioned this show earlier. It's the Gabriel Byrne solo about his life and career on Broadway at the Music Box Theater, and our friend Lonnie Price is directing that. And Linda Lavin is starring in the off-Broadway play You Will Get Sick. It's a roundabout theater production over at the Laura Pels Theater on West 46th Street, playing now through the middle of December. And Tova Feldshuh, she's on Broadway in the hottest ticket, really kind of the hottest ticket on Broadway, besides Waddleton. Funny Girl with Leah Michelle, that is at the August Wilson Theater. Lilias White is playing Hermes in Hadestown at the Walter Kerr Theater. And Alan Menken, of course, has two shows going. He's got Aladdin on Broadway at the New Amsterdam, and Little Shop of Horrors at the West Side Theater, where it co-stars our friend Stuart Zagnit. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland, and then Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of the website StageBuddy.com. Dr. Demento, still doing new and old Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. And finally indeed, who else should I mention? Don't forget. Well, yeah.
Mention the Pun of the Damned.
Well, that's coming up, the Limerick of the Damned. But hey, remember Jackie Martling, Jackie the Joke Man Martling from the Howard Stern Show, and just a comedian in his own right, has a podcast that he's been doing called Stand Up Memories with Peter Bales, and you can watch the episodes at jokeland.com. They're probably on YouTube as well. So a big shout out to all of our friends of the Daverhood. La 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 la, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, it's almost noon. We have done another 3-hour program somehow. We made it through the 369th episode of Dave's Gone By, live on this October 29th, 2022. It just I just realized I've done all these things. We've done the Greeley Crimes at All Times. We've talked about Halloween. We've talked with Vicki and Leslie and played the game.
Celebrity people, yeah.
So, Kathleen Turner and Rabbi Saul Solomon. Oh, the fun we've had.
What are we missing?
And now it all comes crashing down because there's a poem. There's a poem. We do a poem every week. It's a Colorado Limerick of the Damned for a place in Colorado.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado.
Oh, thank you, Christine Lavin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I got it into my head a few years ago to write as many poems as I could about all these different places in Colorado. I'm still doing it, and there's well over 200 of them. My big goal is, wouldn't it be great to have one for every day of the year and then put a book together, like with a horrible poem and a beautiful picture of this town in Colorado. Never going to happen. But I'm at 200 and change, which ain't bad, except they're all bad. These are limericks, so they're tasteless, they're disgusting, they're rude, they're awful, they're ridiculous. But they do put front and center a different place of Colorado every single week. And this week we go to Gateway, Colorado. It's a small community in Mesa County, which is in far west central Colorado. It's basically touching Utah at that point. And Utah's gotten a restraining order, but it's still kind of touching
I heard about that.
inappropriately. The community, since 1903, was likely named after a rock formation called the Gateway. It's home to the Gateway Canyons Resort, and there's also an auto museum there. The Canyons Resort was created by the guy who founded the Discovery Channel. And the resort is also known for a major bike race there. There you go. Wow. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, all of this about Gateway, Colorado. Lovely place. But not so lovely, of course, in this poem, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Ahem. Hold the noises and applause for the end of the poem.
Okay.
One morning, a fellow from Gateway said, "I'm going to make this a great day." He went back to sleep, dreamed he was a sheep, then sat on the toilet and ate hay. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. Daves, D-A-V-E-S, gone, G-O-N-E-B-Y, davesgoneby@aol.com. I read everything that comes in. I don't necessarily have a chance to respond because people can also message me on this Facebook page or direct message me if you're an actual friend on Facebook. Either way, love to hear from you, your comments, your thoughts, even your complaints. It's all about hearing from you and having that connection. Remember that you can connect to Dave's Gone By by going to our website, davesgoneby.com. It's where all the archives are. We talked about Leslie Jordan. We talked about other actors who have been on the program, the singers and the songwriters and the writers and the novelists and all these other wonderful people.
Performers.
You want to hear those interviews, right?
Or see them.
Or see them. You want to see or listen to the Peter Tork interview with Rabbi Saul, or both of them. You want to listen to when Leslie Jordan was on the show, or press agent Susan H. Schulman, who was on the program. It's easy. Just go to davesgoneby.com, search for whom you're looking for, or just browse, and it comes up as MP3 files, or if they're videos, the videos are there. It's absolutely free. You can either listen to the entire episodes, or there's even a separate archive of just the interviews we've done, the sketches we've done. It's a great site, davesgoneby.com. We also put all our stuff on archive.org, archive.org, where all the interviews and also all the full episodes are there as well, just because we want to support and then we want to get our name out on this compendium, if you will, of art and entertainment for the past 1,000 years. That's what they do. It's a real major site. I'm amazed we have our stuff on there. So find the Dave's Gone By channel.
It's a great archive.
Yeah, at archive.org. Also, we put our audio archives for people who are just into podcasting on castbox.fm. Castbox.fm. So this way, if, as Joyce was saying before, if there are people who don't want to sit and watch and view and for 3 hours or for an hour for an interview, and you just want to hear the audio, because we are essentially a radio show, you can go to castbox.fm and load it onto your MP3 player or onto your... What do people even listen to podcasts on now?
I think they just put earbuds and then they listen on their phone.
On the phone, right, of course.
Yeah, so you just stick in your earbuds and then you walk around and you can hear it on your phone.
Tucking your bud.
At the gym, at the gym. A lot of people do it at the gym. Or
Yeah.
Some people do it if they're taking a walk or stroll. They like to have a companion.
Yeah, so that if you just need the audio of the show, go to castbox.fm. And finally, yes, we also have a YouTube channel, and we haven't had any muting problems in the past few months because we haven't really played any music. So yes, our shows are on YouTube as well. However you discover Dave's Gone By, enjoy it, check out the archives, send your friends and family, and especially your enemies to the archive as well. And I also want to send you to one other website, davelefkowitz.org. Excuse me, davelefkowitz.org. If you want to read my theater reviews, my articles,
all
my
the
interviews
plays,
with people.
Some of your plays that you posted,
All
like
the
Red
plays.
Bull and all, no, was it 1%? What was it?
3% is up there.
That very good. A triple wedding. Any of David's creative works. Yeah.
And especially some of the recent stuff I was writing when I was still had time to write.
Yeah.
A couple of plays I would love to see done somewhere. There's some mega for things they didn't win. Fuck. But
You're not
they're
bitter.
there. I'm not me bitter. Ha! But it's all there. If you have a theater company, you're like, oh, I'm looking for a cute, funny one-act play. I'm looking for that. Go to davelefkowitz.org. Well, it has been a delight being with you on this 869th episode.
Don't you turn the number, right?
Yeah, I got to pull this off because I got to pull 2 of them off, in fact.
Whoa.
Because next time, which might be next week, actually, we are definite. Even though I'm busy as hell.
Can I have your 2 numbers?
Yeah, where you can have my number anytime, baby.
Who's the guest?
Yeah, well, we have a guest. We have a guest for next Saturday. It's going to be November 5th. It's comedian Eddie Brill. Eddie Brill's going to be doing a show, comedy show, with his own son. So we've got Eddie Brill joining us in the
Brill
room.
Jr.?
I don't know. Name might be kind of something Brill.
Mr. Brill.
It'd be cool if he named him Bill.
Bill Brill.
Bill Brill.
Phil Brill.
Phil Brill. Bill Brill.
Thrill Brill.
Yeah.
Kill Bill.
If Quentin Tarantino decided to do a film of it, it could be Kill Phil Brill. It'd be something like that. Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to expend any more or lose any more goodwill from all you folks watching, so I will end the program now. The 869.
Give me your clapper.
I beg your pardon. Later. I do have one. Yes, here it is. Ooh. So the time has ticked and run out on this episode of Dave's Gone By. Have a happy and safe Halloween. I can't speak anymore. Goblins and goblies and witches. Goblins.
And
ghoulies.
No scary stuff. Don't scare anybody, and you should instruct people not to share your candy. Don't do what they did at Vicky's house.
Yeah, well, yeah, take some, leave some. Or if you see really good candy, take that and then leave like the crappy candy for everybody else. You don't want the taffy, and those circular little things that are
Everybody
chalk.
leaves the Skittles and the Starburst. Those are always left.
But Starbursts are good.
Yeah, but everybody leaves it. They take the chocolate.
They take chocolate. Of course they take chocolate.
Yeah.
So you know what? If you have a really shiny, nice apple that no kid wants to eat, leave the apple, take the brownie. This is my advice. Anywho, happy Halloween, happy week. We will see you, God willing, next Saturday, 9 a.m. with the 870th episode.
Wow, it's crazy.
Of Dave's Gone By with my wonderful wife Joyce and me, Dave Lefkowitz. Happy, safe Halloween. Happy times to all of you. And gone bye.
Dave's gone by. Dave's gone by. Dave's gone by.
Where's the axolotl?
Wait, he's got little axolotl
He
wings.
is looking for the axolotl. We saw the picture on your TV.
Oh, where is it? He's so cute. Oh, we'll show you later, Potato. Okay, bye everybody. Have a great week.